just wanna change the world. I just want the perfect girl. I don't wanna hang around, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. Change the world, but I'm not gonna wait my turn. I don't ever want to come down, I'd rather be found. It gets better, I wonder, my pleasure together. Everyone's waiting, anticipating. It's about you. I will never be alone again. I'm immune to the things they said. My heart's unbreaking. Your radiant truth. I know that you will understand, because I finally found myself. My heart's unbreaking. Your radiant. You're radiant. You like this? All right. Dude, let's go. Dude, I'm glad you like that, right? Because what I'm going to do is I'm going to do two things. One, I'm going to upload that stuff on YouTube, right? On the Political Punk YouTube channel, right? I'm going to have a little music section. And then the other thing I'm going to do is I am going to I'm gonna sell them. You're gonna be able to buy it digitally if you want to. If you want to support the stream with like a digital purchase. And I do have some that are actually on CD, right? I do. Like some of that old music I actually have on CDs. Conservative late night comedy. Dude, yeah, what the fuck would that be, dude? Like, what even is conservative late night comedy? Right? You know what I mean? Like, what is that? What the fuck, bro? Let's go. Dude, there's no such thing as conservative comedy. You know what conservative comedy is? It's fucking sitting in a room. It's like sitting in a room watching a bunch of people stare at somebody awkwardly, right? It's like J.D. Vance trying to order a fucking donut. That's conservative comedy, right? It's like, God damn, that guy's awkward. Right? You know what I mean? That's conservative comedy. Conservative comedy is watching J.D. Vance order a donut and you're just like, oh, fuck, that guy is awkward. Right? You're like, God damn, bro. That is like, dude, my eyes hurt after watching that shit, dude. Dude, you know what I mean? I mean, seriously, it's about as funny as being conceived in a cracker. Dude, I've been going off on the conceived in a Cracker Barrel. Can I just tell you, I've been fucking around with the tweets tonight. And so some guy was like giving Hassan shit about like saying, you don't seem happy or some shit, right? To Hassan today. And I'm like, dude, I went off on this guy, bro. I was like, you sound like someone who pays to watch his girlfriend get shagged. Because he said to Hassan, like, you sound unhappy. You should deport yourself back to Turkey. But dude, Hassan's born in fucking America. So I'm like, dude, you sound like someone who pays to watch his girlfriend get shagged. You should deport yourself back to Cracker Barrel. You were conceived. Dude, that's amazing. Deport yourself back to the Cracker Barrel. You were Yeah, sometimes I just fucking, I'm never gonna get enough credit for these tweets, dude. Oh, shit. Bro. Dude. Oh, fuck. Oh, man, dude. That shit is fucking hilarious. Oh. Give, send, go for Charlie Kirk's family. All right. Dude, let them do it. Dude, when the more money they raise for Charlie Kirk's family, dude, the less we have to worry about them putting into political campaigns. I do love my job. Oh, shit, dude. Dude, that was so good, bro. Dude. But fucking A, dude. All right, so let's start with something fun. Dude, we got some funky shit to go over today. If there's anything I missed, dude, I woke up late today. I didn't even get a second video out until like 8 p.m. As you can see, I had some fucking serious body work done. I woke up. I've been a little outside of the news cycle today. Aside from that fucking 𝗙𝗍𝗋𝗏 fucking tweet, like, oh my God, dude. If you go to my Twitter, you got to read the replies under the fucking 𝗙𝗍𝗋𝗏 tweet about where he tells Sinclair to go to hell with fucking where Charlie Kirk is. And like all those replies are like these MAGA shitheads just coping so hard with their religion. It is pretty fucking wild, dude. It's pretty fun. But we're going to watch the Nancy Mace video because Nancy Mace, of course, being a clown in a hearing with the DC mayor, she tries to go in for her little what is a woman, and the DC mayor just like owns her so hard. Okay. Then I want to look at Cenk and Anna talking about Jimmy Kimmel because, of course, I can imagine their take is probably terrible. We know they're fucking defending. I bet they're defending MAGA. At least Anna is. right? And what else we got? Oh, there's a little thing about the Epstein money that I want to look at. And then I believe we have some new information about the Kirk shooter that we might look at. But yeah, we should look at a little bit of the 𝗙cie𝗶𝗶𝗍 stuff too, if you got any good clips about him. Dude, what a clown, dude. Brian Kilmeade? Dude, yeah, I know. Did you see that clip of Brian Kilmeade talking about, dude, we got to look at that too. But let's start with this one, okay? This one, it looks promising. I have not watched it, but this is Congresswoman Sarah Jacobs, right, from California. And she posted this fucking video that says, guess my Republican colleagues didn't think this one through. And I think this is about pronouns, right? I think this is about pronouns. Now, we know, okay, despite what MAGA and all these people, oh shit, there's a clip. Yeah, no, Natalie, I would love to see that clip. So we know that despite their transphobia, despite their hatred of like gender advancements, we know that MAGA's favorite pronoun is they. It is their favorite one. They shot him. They're oppressing us. They did this. They did that. They did that. They, who did it? They. Who did it? They. Who's oppressing you? They are. Right? Who shot Charlie Kirk? They did. Right? You know what I'm saying? Oh, shit. Who? Right? Who's burning the American flag? They are. Who's the deep state? They are. They are like warping us with radical Marxist, fascist, Leninist, communist, gropist, socialist propaganda. They did. Dude, the great they, the royal they, right? The royal they. Oh, Lord. Shit, dude. Dude, what is up? I don't know what's going on with Netanyahu and the Charlie Kirk thing. Dude, the more he does that shit, the more I think Israel actually killed him, right? I'm like, dude, why is Netanyahu so obsessed with Charlie Kirk, bro? Dude, you need to get yourself a girlfriend the way Netanyahu looks at Charlie Kirk's corpse, bro. Dude. Dude, what the fuck, bro? Dude, what is going on? We are living in the upside down. Dude, oh shit. Dude, that was uncalled for. Oh, Lord, dude. I do have good energy today. Dude, I had a fucking wicked massage. Oh. Dude, let's go. All right. You ready? Let's check out this video, shall we? Let's see what we got. Let's see what Sarah Jacobs has in fucking, I think she's got something special for us here. Here we go.
But you just said it's only if you use the wrong pronoun, so that's not actually accurate.
That's correct. You're absolutely correct. Thank you for that, Ms. Jacobs.
I rise in opposition to this amendment. This is a radical infringement on State Department employees' freedom of speech and expression, denying individuals the ability to accurately reflect their preferred pronouns and avoid the stigma and embarrassment associated with being misgendered in a professional setting. Heaven forbid people know who they're communicating with over email when face-to-face conversations aren't possible. We'll let the Taylors and Shannons and Lindsays of the world and anyone else go misgendered for the sake of my Republican colleagues' feelings. So frankly, this amendment is an embarrassing use of this committee's time when we have so many other pressing issues to address. I'm ashamed we're even having to talk about it. I hope all of my colleagues vote against this, and I yield back.
Your gentleman is recognized.
The question I would ask is, if I were to have on my business card, Mr. Brad Schneider, is that prohibited by this amendment?
Yeah, no, because actually, sometimes people use the pronouns, and that's why this is here, incorrectly.
Dude.
Gender is immutable. So the Mr. and Mrs.
Dude, look at fucking Palpatine over here, dude. This guy, like, I don't even know what they're arguing about here. I mean, we do. They're trying to make it so you can't put pronouns. You can't put he, him, right, on your fucking staff thing. But, like, dude, look at this guy. Dude, Emperor Palpatine on a quest to make sure you can't put pronouns in your bio, in your email signature. But what's wild about this is like, this is what these motherfuckers are working on the floor of Congress. Think about this, guys. These guys are making 180 grand a year. And we have like homelessness issues. We got gun violence. Their little like racist, misogynist, transphobic icon just got blown away. Okay, there's gun violence issues. There's domestic violence. There's kids going hungry. People dying of drug overdoses in the street. People living in tents. And these goons are sitting on the floor of Congress drafting legislation related to pronouns in their email signatures. What went wrong? You know what I'm saying? Like, who hurt this guy? Dude, seriously, somewhere along the line, he got into Congress and it's like, forget helping the country. I am going to fixate on a couple of 2, 3, and 4 letter words. And I'm just going to get on this hamster wheel and never get off. Right? But that's what Palpatine's got for us. Dude, look at him. He's like 200 years old, dude. His pronoun is fucking like, kick bucket, right? Dude, what the fuck, bro? Emperor Palpatine. Palpatine. Those are his pronouns. Polyp and fucking, right? His pronouns are polyp and fucking gallstone. Dude, Jesus Christ, dude. What the fuck, bro? All right, here we go.
Sometimes people use the pronouns, and that's why this is here, incorrectly. Gender is immutable. So the Mr. and Mrs. used improperly with what their natural sex would be under this rule.
Brad, will you yield again?
Yes.
So in my email signature, I, Sarah Jacobs, have she, her. Those are my pronouns. But under your amendment, this would also not be allowed.
Right.
But you just said it's only if you use the wrong pronoun, so that's not actually accurate.
Correct.
That's correct. You're absolutely correct. Thank you for that, Ms. Jacobs.
Dude!
Anytime. Brad, back to you.
All right, let me just, I'll ask another one. Our ambassadors have a title that are often His Excellency or Her Excellency. Would that be prohibited on their business card?
Dude.
It would not be.
This says the Secretary of State shall prohibit the use of gender pronouns on business cards, email signatures, or any other professional identity elements across the Department of State by employees, contractors, and other officials of the State Department.
Dude, they're basically, now the ambassadors have been cucked by their stupid rule, dude.
That would clearly prohibit the use of Mr. or Ms. or Mrs. It would prohibit the use of His Excellency. I think this amendment is going to cause a whole lot of problems across the State Department. I yield back.
I think you're rightfully stating something. I believe this is a serious conversation, as I opened up in my remarks. But my request for the author of it would be to withdraw this amendment. You ask unanimous consent to withdraw?
I did.
Yeah.
Without objection?
Yeah.
So ordered.
Thank you. Withdraw the amendment. Now, can we withdraw the weirdos who are literally taking up the House floor on that? Like really? That's what we're obsessed with? Dude, this is what's crazy, guys. And you know what's wild about it is it is a national epidemic. It is an epidemic. Let me just show you a graphic that's going to blow your mind, dude. I know I've showed it before, but I'm going to show it again. I'm going to show it many times. Okay? Look at this. right here, dude. 604 LGBTQ bills in the United States right now in various state legislatures. 604. Okay? You see all these bills, these purple states have more than 16 gender and LGBTQ bills in more than 16. Isn't that crazy? Like, they're obsessed. There's not a state here except for Vermont. Vermont's the only state that has none. And DC. Everywhere else has more than one, or all the way up to, you know, some of these states have like 25. Okay? And this is like what these legislators, and they're conservative legislators, okay? All of these are coming from Republicans, right? Every single one of them is coming from Republicans. And they are just obsessed. It's like a bunch of Christians that are completely and fanatically obsessed with gender and gay. And like, it is like melting their fucking brains. This is like worrisome, you know? This is worrisome. So the thing about this, though, Void Destroyer, you got to realize is this is the ones that haven't been passed. Okay, these are the ones that so Arkansas may have already passed a whole bunch, and some of these states have already passed a whole bunch. These are the ones that are currently active in the legislature that haven't been passed yet. It's not including the ones that are already passed. So there are certainly many, many more, right? Like Arkansas has probably already passed, you know, a dozen. Who knows what they passed? But I know they've already passed some. But dude, this is crazy. It is crazy. And again, we have all these pressing national issues, but none of these people are drafting bills that are affecting our pressing national issues. And I think that's just a weird tragedy. And it's this weird collective mental illness that Christians in America are starting to be possessed by. I mean, they talk a lot about like demons and possession and all that stuff, right? And I think they're literally possessed. Like they are just possessed by an obsession with like genitalia, gender, and gay sex. Dude, Fran, let's go. Oh, craziness, dude. They are so weird. It is really weird. All right. We're going to burn through some topics, guys. All right. Tonight, we're going to burn through. I'm going to try to make like the next couple days. I want to make like 10 videos, bro. I want to go nuts. Okay. Put up a dance goal. I can put up a dance goal. All right. We'll do it. I'm going to put up 2 dance goals. We'll try 2 tonight. We're going to do one 45 minutes. All right. Dance party. Let's go. There it is. Oh, isn't that crazy? Dude, shit is wild. Dude, it is so wild. Easy otherization. Yeah, I mean, it's so, the thing that's bizarre about it to me is just trying to figure out like what is their motivation? You know what I mean? I mean, do they think that they're going to like remove all the like LGBTQ people? Like what's their end game? I mean, there's never going to be less LGBTQ people. There's definitely just going to be more and more now that it's accepted and more open, more like out in the light. So from here on out, there's going to be more people that are gay and lesbian and there's going to be more, you know, evolution of gender and shit. But I just don't know what they think is going to happen. they think they're going to go back to a time where like all the gay people are going to hide their identity again? Right? You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. I saw somebody say something about, you said you hate MAGA so much. That's funny. Oh, let's go. I thought you were saying you were MAGA. I was going to say, you're probably not going to like it here, but let's go. All right. Next up, dude, let me see. All right, let's look at the Nancy Mace video. This shit is crazy. Dude, what is going on with Nancy Mace? Can I just say, like, seriously, dude, what is going on with Nancy Mace? Dude, Ida, let's go. If anyone believes these people are as foolish as they appear to be, they are deliberately splitting people against each other, divide and conquer. Yeah, I mean, I guess, but I think these Christians are absolutely obsessed by this stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think they're the people that are passing those bills. Like, there's no doubt that, the higher up political people are trying to, fan the flames of this shit. But it's clearly the only thing they're obsessed with. I mean, they could absolutely, when you think about it, Ida, they could still divide people just by talking about it, but they're actually devoting their lives to writing and passing these bills. It's like, I think it's beyond just a distraction. I think many of them are literally obsessed with this, that to them, LGBTQ people are like a sign of the devil, right? There's no doubt that Trump is manipulating that. I mean, you got to remember, dude, James Finch, let's go, baby. You're blackpilling? Dude, all right. Well, just don't fucking kill anybody, dude. What did you leave me? Is that like 1,000 yen, James? Let's go, boss. Dude, is that yen? Dude, I've never seen that currency before. I love that, bro. 1,000 yen? Is that what that is? I'm into it, bro. Dude, fucking, it's $10. Dude, I love it. Amazing. Dude, I've never gotten yen before. Dude, appreciate you. You're blackpilling Hassan and Destiny. Trump never follows due process. I mean, dude, Trump never follows due process. You got that right. Right? And I know it's hard, dude. It's hard, like, I don't know. Politics is hard in the age of content creators because we're all trying to make a living. So like, I don't know, man. I feel like it's hard. It's hard because we're all trying to make a living, so we're all sort of malleable, in a weird way. But, I get it. You're not the only one blackpilling. Just no rifles for you. Okay, we're going to have no Tyler Robinson from you. All right, I think it's okay to have some black pill fucking feelings in the world today. It's like totally natural. But we're gonna get you to vote anyway, right? You can be a black pill and still turn out to vote. But I get it. It's just hard, man. It's hard. You like to listen in the community? Yeah, dude, I got you, boss. I'm glad you're here, man. Right? I'm glad you're here. Dude, you like to listen in what community? In Destiny's and Hassan's? I mean, dude, it's hard. I think it's hard for young people, boss. It really is, right? I think, I don't blame it on Hassan and Destiny. I think politics is more complicated now, guys. It is. Politics used to be easier because there was so much less information that we had access to, that people like gravitated around one or two issues, and then it was totally cool. Okay, we're going to vote for this, we're going to vote for that. There were a whole bunch of people that would vote for the better candidate unless, it was more like whoever was more personable won. Okay, whoever had more personality won unless there was a scandal, right? Like Dukakis would have won, but there was a scandal. You know what I'm saying? And the scandal was the only thing that ruined candidates. But now there's so much access to information that you could even go into Hassan's chat, and even the people in Hassan's chat, there's going to be a couple issues there where every single person in that chat has a different nuance to how they feel about that issue, right? And so everybody is now picking like the one issue that's the most important to them, but not everybody feels about the same that's most important, right? It's like we have access to everything. So now you can grab some obscure issue and be like, this is the most important thing to me, right? Dude, it's crazy. Dude, adultery is like encouraged now. Like, what the fuck, bro? You know what I'm saying? It's just so weird, dude. Everything is so weird. You know, I think Hassan is a good dude. I like Hassan. I think it's hard though, because the thing that's hard is not about like Hassan or, you know, I think what's hard is people who like Hassan, some of them can be a little bit militant. Like they'll be even more militant about Hassan's issues than Hassan is, right? And I thought it was the same with like Bernie Sanders, where sometimes Bernie's followers would be even more militant about Bernie's beliefs than Bernie is. And I think, you know what I mean? But there's a wide range of people. Now Destiny is more complicated because obviously he's a sex predator. But even before that, even before the weird sex shit, like I had some issues with Destiny where I loved his debating and I loved his in-your-face debating people. I thought he was a very good debater and I liked a lot of his viewpoints, but I didn't really like the way that he fucking, you know, the way that he always spent so much time with the red pillars. Right? You know what I mean? Like making content with Sneeko and shit. And I know he said it was the guise of like winning some of those people over, but I actually feel like he had a lot more in common with those red pillars than, you know what I'm saying? He had quite a bit in common with those guys to where he was like the token leftist in their crowd. And I don't think that's a good place for a leftist to be. It cheapened leftism. You know, and you know, audience capture though is very real, James Finch. I mean, it's hard, dude. Audience capture is hard because it's very real. If you want to have a long and fucking like, if you want to have a long career, you have to do the dance around audience capture. You know? Yeah, man. It's hard, dude. You're a pine box pillar? I like the sound of that. But dude, anyway, thank you for the yen. I appreciate you. And I'm glad you're here. And Sam, dude, let's go. Thanks for the membership. So, all right, you guys ready? You guys ready? We're going to get in here. All I can say, guys, though, is here's what I want you to understand. Is here in this community, there's room for everybody. Okay? There is. You can be Destiny fans. You can be Vouch fans. You can be Hassan fans. You can be Mike from PA, Matt Binder. Like, you know, Anna, Cenk, fucking, there's room for all of us here, right? There's room for all of us here. And you know, I really, like, let me give you an example. Can I just take you through, dude? Ida, let's go with the knock. We love to see it. Let me just show you today, okay? Because I was pretty proud of this. So I don't know if you guys saw this, but earlier today, okay, Keith Edwards, okay, posted a clip of Hassan, okay? And let me show you where it is, where it was. Okay, so the clip is gone, but Keith Edwards posted a clip. It was like 15 seconds long, and Hassan was saying Kamala Harris would be doing the exact same thing. Okay. And it was edited because, you know, I mean, anybody who knows Hassan, as soon as I watched it, Hassan was like talking about Israel Okay. And he was talking about how Kamala Harris's Israel fucking, method would not be any different than Trump's, that she was still going to be a staunch Israel supporter. Okay. Now, what I was disappointed about with the tweet, with the Keith Edwards tweet, is he posted this edited tweet. And then when Hassan called him out, Keith Edwards did get in there and say, look, man, I thought you posted this today. I'm sorry. I deleted it. You know what I'm saying? But I think it brings up a greater problem though here, guys. Okay. That I want to discuss, which is not about Hassan and not about, Keith Edwards per se. I know Keith deleted it and said he was sorry, which was great. But here's the problem that I have with this. As I said, I saw the Keith Edwards tweet, deceptive edit. It bothered me a little bit because of the deceptive edit, but it bothered me a lot because I was wondering, do centrist Dems not understand what they face with young people? Okay? Because my son is not a Hassan fan. Okay? He's not one of those fucking crazy militant Hassan fans, but he is very much anti-US Israel policy. And he is very much pro-Palestine and wanting to end Islamophobia. And there are a lot of young people like him, okay? A lot. When you look at young people, a full 40% of young people right now are deeply invested in changing U.S. Israel policy and getting rid of AIPAC. And what's crazy about this is that the Dems have always relied on the youth vote. And with a lot of the youth vote shifting to conservative, a lot of the white bros are now these conservative shitheels. The Dems, more than ever, need to figure out what they're going to do about Israel policy. And they need to start having a lot of discussions inside the party, or they will never win a fucking election again. Okay, because this is a very real situation that's not going anywhere. And it's not because of Hassan. It's not because of any individual streamer. It's because they're witnessing this fucking genocidal shit. And they're tired of seeing countries in the Middle East just warring against people and oppressing the shit out of them. And then the U.S. being like, yeah, you want some more money? Yeah. Oh, yeah, let's give you some more money. Right? They don't want that. And so, we're going to have to figure it out because I said Dems historically relied on the youth vote, but you're not getting it anymore if you can't talk with Hassan and others about Israel. The issue ain't going away. Fuck boss, Dems need to wake up or they're going to be screwed. We need to be able to communicate with our own around these difficult issues. And that's really, really important. And that's really, really important. I don't know what Keith Edwards' stand is on that. I know he's not militant about, Hassan, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't make a whole bunch of videos about fucking Palestine, right? And to a degree, I hate to say this, but I kind of understand that mentality. Because I don't talk about it much either. Because if you start talking about it and you make it a regular part of your content just fills up with really militant fucking people. That is the only thing they want to fucking talk about. And that's really complicated. So every time I do talk about Palestine, I fucking go more central with shit too. Because I don't want to be audience captured to where that's the only thing I fucking talk about. Okay? You know what I'm saying? I don't want to do that, right? I feel like civil rights here at home is a lot more, you know what I'm saying? But anyway, the point that I'm making is I'm not offended by people that are very focused on that issue. But the thing that's crazy about it is what we need to do though as Democrats is we got to be able to have those difficult situations, those difficult conversations. You know what I'm saying? We do. We gotta have those difficult fucking conversations because this shit is not going away. You know what I'm saying? This shit is not going away, right? And yeah, I don't know what, right? Closer you are to white, the less you need to talk about racism. I mean, for sure, absolutely. Like, there's no doubt about that. You know what I'm saying? I mean, obviously, you know, I just, for me, I just, you know, I have a lot of other issues that feel more pressing to me, right? Civil rights here in America is like my number one issue, but I'm willing to fucking, you know, like when we have a party platform and we're figuring out how to advance the party, like I'm open to having those discussions with people where, you know what I mean? Like I focus mostly on LGBTQ issues, right? And you know, there's some people that are totally focused on Gaza. There's some people that are focused on fucking farming, right? Or healthcare, or right? But what I'm not willing to do is I'm not willing to pretend like we can just not talk about it and fucking, right? We can't pretend like we're just not going to talk about this and we're going to continue to let AIPAC just flood money into primaries and shit while huge swaths of the Democratic voter base decide, yeah, I don't want to vote for those guys anymore. We're not going to be able to do that anymore. You know what I'm saying? We're not, you know? But yeah, so my thing though was that I wish these guys would talk, okay? Like I literally, you know what I'm saying? I wish these guys would I'd like to see Hassan and Keith Edwards, or Hassan and you know, like these more moderate centrists. I'd like to see them all fucking talking about that shit, you know? And you're right, dude. We do have some pressing issues, but you know, we got to be careful. Like we don't want to blow up our election again. You know what I'm saying? And yes, those are cupping marks on my arm. I go for some body work regularly. But anyway, so you said there was some link in here about Hassan. What is that? Is that how long is this fucking clip? Right? Maybe we'll circle back and look at that in a little bit. I just wanted to touch on that. I wanted to touch on that because I like Keith Edwards and I like Hassan, and I don't want to see us fighting each other needlessly. But I thought it was pretty good of Keith Edwards to, like, you know, own up to, like, you know, like, oh, I thought that clip was today, blah, blah, blah. But the thing that's hard, dude, Bilford, let's go. What was hard about it, you know what I'm saying? Nothing was really bad about the clip. He was just saying Kamala Harris would be doing the exact same thing. And so he posted the clip as though Hassan was saying Kamala Harris would be doing the exact same thing, you know, tearing into freedom of speech or squashing our fucking rights or whatever. Now, it's complicated though, okay? Because so they didn't like threaten the airwaves, but Mehdi Hassan got fired under a Democratic president, right? Mehdi Hassan got fired. So did a bunch of other newscasters who spoke about Palestine, spoke up against Israel. A bunch of protests during the Democratic president got broken up and people got beaten up, and the cops in New York City brought their fucking little tank. Remember the line of idiots with the fucking ladder climbing into the building in Columbia? All of that happened under a Democratic president. So there was a clampdown under the Biden. Now, of course, Biden's an old school Catholic, 75-year-old Catholic guy is going to be like Israel to the wall, right? You know? And you're right, Israel is to blame, but it's not just, it's a lot of the money and it's a lot of this Christianity, you know what I mean? and you know, right? But anyway, big props to Keith Edwards for deleting the clip. All right, you ready? All right, here we go. So I do want to look at something here. One more thing, little running through the news. Look at this, dude. More white male violence. Okay, we're just a few days, a week from Charlie Kirk, and we already have white male violence. We have a woman beater and a stalker who fucking had a domestic violence call, and he ambushed police with an assault rifle. A 24-year-old white guy killed 3 cops, injured 2 others. And guess what? You're not going to have a single right-winger that fucking posts about this. Not one right-winger anywhere is posting about this. Dude, it's so dirty. He was in the cornfield. Yo, ambush. What a fucking douchebag. If you guys want to read about it, here, we'll fucking put the link in there. I don't know if that's it. Oh, wait, that might not be it. Here, I'll put the link to the tweet. Dude, yeah, domestic violent cases are bad. Okay? But, you know what I'm saying? Dude, let's go. But yeah, white male violence, white on white crime, an epidemic. Now, again, they're all going to be talking about the white woman who was killed on that train in Charlotte, North Carolina, because they're trying to sink Roy Cooper's campaign. But here's a week after Charlie Kirk. This guy kills cops. A white guy shooting cops with an assault rifle. Not a single fucking mention. You'll see exactly 0 of the right-wing pukes talking about it because the suspect wasn't an immigrant, they weren't trans, and they weren't black. Right? Dude. Fucking goons, bro. What are we doing, bro? Not one right-winger will condemn it. Do you condemn white male violence? Dude, do you condemn white male violence? I don't know, man. I don't know. Here's another one, dude. Look at this, dude. Look at the new Charlie Kirk show. All I can say, guys, is the movement is dead. Okay? I have not seen less charisma at a fucking table since I went to fucking, you know what I'm saying? Since I went to watch my grandpa play fucking bingo, bro. God damn, dude. They're trying to like save Charlie Kirk's show. But look who we got here. We got fucking Ben Shapiro, Michael Knowles, Matt Walsh. I don't even know who this guy is. Dude, this shit is like, dude, it's so dumb, bro. Right? It's like email boredom at charliekirk.com, dude. Oh, fuck, bro. This shit is going to be dead in the water, dude. Dead in the water. Now, there's another thing that I want to talk about here because you may or may not have noticed, guys, but Erica Kirk was named the CEO of Turning Point USA today. I don't know how I feel about that, guys, because remember, look, Charlie's been dead for a week, and now all of a sudden the women are CEOs? What does that mean? Turning Point USA is now going to go to college campuses and say to the women, you're supposed to be CEOs, right? Because for me, what I said, guys, Erica's dead to me until she finds another man to submit to, right? Come on, man. This is Charlie Kirk's legacy. She needs to find a man and submit to him, or she is not valid. Okay? She is not valid. Thank you, Rachel. Let's go. Dude, she is not valid, boss. I'm sorry, right? Now, I did, though, I'll admit, though, guys, I did comment earlier, right, where I said, to be fair, okay, I did one snarky one, but another one I commented earlier where I did say, here, I said, as soon as Charlie's gone, TPUSA changes up their stance on women in the home. That was quick. Looking forward to seeing them advocate for college women to be CEOs. All right. I still think the real path forward for Erica is for her and Riley Gaines to have an OnlyFans. Okay, her and Riley Gaines should have an OnlyFans together, right? Lesbian lovers. I think that is the real future that I see for Erica Kirk. That could be transformative and healing, right? Maybe a threesome with Jesus would be something to look at. Okay, dude, I'm gonna get removed, bro. I know it's coming, dude. Dude, this one's gonna get me too. Melania Trump, all right? Melania Trump has said she's going after anyone who mentions her and Epstein. So whatever you do, don't share this Vanity Fair cover, because I'm afraid Vanity Fair is gonna get in some trouble with Melania Trump. All right. Dude, let's go. We're going to start the day off, I think, with the news of the day, right? You liking this? This is a good, comedy format. I think this could be a good video, right? The news of the day, news of the weird. Now, the last thing I want to say, dude, is right here. You ready? I'm going to put the link in chat. Dude, right here, guys. Let me put this link in chat. If you want some comedy, you gotta read the replies under this, guys. Okay, so 𝗙𝗍𝗋𝗧𝗏, Sinclair is saying, suspension's not enough. We need action on Jimmy Kimmel. And 𝗙𝗍𝗋𝗧𝗏 said, burn in hell, Sinclair, alongside Charlie Kirk. Now, the responses in here, guys, the comments, what has happened because of 𝗙𝗍𝗋𝗧𝗏 saying this is every Bible-banging Christian that is a part of MAGA has come into these replies with a bone to pick. They're either explaining how they found Christ, or they're insisting that everybody's going to burn in hell, or they're coming to be arrogant and say, I'll pray for you. But dude, they're so funny. Dude, this one, the Data Republican wrote I didn't even read it. I'm like, dude, no one's reading that shit. Stick Jesus in your ass. But dude, they're these people are going crazy, right? Charlie is in glory with Jesus Christ, Lord and Savior of the world. Dude, their writing is so funny, okay? Dude, please do not delete this. Everyone needs to see it and stop denying how wicked your party has become, right? Dude, look at this. This person, MAGA Michelle, said, I have never in my 44 years on this earth witnessed anyone with such hate in their heart like I have with you. Your heart is pure black. I strongly suggest you speak to a therapist. Dude, oh my God, dude. I hate to break it to you, MAGA Michelle, but 𝗙𝗍𝗋𝗧𝗏 is posting this shit because he's gone to therapy. Once you go to therapy, you're done with Jesus. You're oh my God, dude, get me out, right? Dude, this person, Charlie, isn't in hell, but you are certainly headed there unless you repent. Oh, repent. Dude, it's so funny. Dude, can I just say, I got into this too, guys. Okay, let me show you. I got into this too because of this tweet. Okay, you ready? Let me show you. This is funny, bro. All right, let me show you. I got into the same pack of Christians. Okay, with, where is it? Let me find the tweet. It was, all right here. Watch this. So it was this. So this guy, you ready? Now, don't judge me here, okay? But this guy posted a picture. This is Tyler Robinson after the Charlie Kirk shooting, okay? When Tyler fucking comes in and first off, it wasn't 17 minutes after Charlie was assassinated. It's a 20-minute drive from the school. It didn't happen right away, but he posted this thing of saying Tyler Robinson after the shooting, right? Getting Dairy Queen. And so I said, what is the DQ order? after extinguishing a racist, misogynist, transphobic icon? Which I think is a fair question. I was wondering what he ordered, right? After him, engaging in that behavior. Now, I did use somewhat incendiary language, right? And because I was definitely going to smoke the MAGA pack. Okay, but now watch though. Look at this. This person says, "You're a terrible person and will answer to God. Bookmark this for when that day comes." Like, dude, what am I going to do? I'm going to bookmark. Am I taking Twitter to the pearly gates? Bookmark this? I'm like, dude, this is hilarious. I'm like, first off, there is no God, but if there is, I'm definitely going to call him out for being a hateful prick and causing everybody a lot of unnecessary pain. Okay? And then somebody said, this guy said, "I'll pray for you. You have so much hate. There's something broken in you." And I'm like, don't bitch to me. Complain to your God, right? He made me. But dude, they're so arrogant with their "I'll pray for you." Oh, I'm going to pray for you. Oh, you poor little lost child. It's like, dude, fucking what the fuck is going on with you people, right? Dude, let's go. Oh, they got mad at me posting about MAGA, right? Dude, look at this. This guy says, you're literally the hateful prick. You think pointing as hard as you can, shouting as hard as you can makes you right. You little pussies, hide from anyone that can beat your ass and think you did something from behind this. Dude, they're so triggered. Oh my God, dude. Oh, fuck, dude. And a victim complex that we have. Oh, yeah, I'm the one with the victim complex. Dude, it's so funny. Dude, Willem, let's go. Dude, and then I had to post that I fucking hit the MAGA nerve. Oh, dude. Dude, that's a good tweet, though, isn't it? What is the DQ order after extinguishing a racist, misogynist, transphobic? Dude, that is a good tweet, bro. It is. Because I'm genuinely curious. I'm like, what did he eat after the murder, Stone cold. This guy is stone cold, bro. Dude, let's go. Dude, James, thank you, boss. Appreciate you. Thanks for dishing on those yen, brother. We appreciate it. Oh, man. Dude, Bilford, let's go. Dude, this shit is funny. All right? Trolling MAGA. Dude, this guy, though, he didn't like the MAGA people, dude, they didn't like this one, right? The craziest shit is how Tyler Robinson was raised in a home that no doubt espoused Charlie Kirk's philosophy. Religion, family, guns, MAGA, right? And it was precisely this indoctrination that killed Charlie. His own worldview, when used to raise a kid, failed that kid, right? Right? Oh, shit. It's true, dude. Let's go, dude. Sir Tony, appreciate you, boss. Let's fucking go. They banned lefties. Yeah, I don't worry. Dude, I don't live in fear of getting banned, guys. If I get banned, right? I don't worry about that shit. You right? I don't worry about that shit. Dude, I get banned. I got banned from fucking, right? I got banned from Twitter or from Twitch. Here we are, baby. Fucking, Yeah, let's go. Dude, Peaceful Warrior, let's go. Oh, shit, dude. Ashif, let's go, baby. All right, we got a dance party. Dude, let's go. All right, we're going to cover the Nancy Mace topic, and then we're going to dance. All right, because I'm on a roll now. We just went through the fucking news. I think I'm going to make that a regular thing where we'll do, like, I can make some shorts from that. We can do some fucking, a little news of the day thing on, that'll be easy to recap, right? Just put it straight in. Super chat not working. You can't write anything. That's weird. What do you mean? You had a super chat come through earlier, Ida. I saw it. Right? Let's go. Let's go. Dude, this Nancy Mace thing, though. Holy shit. Bro, I don't even know. Dude, yeah, no, we got to look at the Nancy Mace thing because here it is. Okay? This is fucking wild. Okay, now, mind you guys, they're having a fucking hearing about DC crime. Okay? So this is what we're having. Okay? This is 𝗫𝗄𝗽𝗪, and she is a fucking power source. Dude, I love this woman. I do. I fucking love 𝗫𝗄𝗽𝗪. I do. She's a fucking power source. So now they were having a committee hearing meeting about Donald Trump putting the fucking National Guard, okay? She's the mayor of DC. Now, those of you who don't know, DC has, they don't have statehood. They are their own independent thing, but there are some, loopholes that allow a president like Trump to essentially take control of the city, okay? No president has ever really exercised that shit, okay? You know what I'm saying? No, it was the free one for members. Yeah, I don't know what that means. I'm not familiar with that shit, right? Can also pay, but you can't write when you pay. That's weird, right? That is fucking weird. Yeah, if anybody knows what's going on with her YouTube, you can help her out. I think she needs some help. But so to set the stage for this, guys, 𝗫𝗄𝗽𝗪 is coming off Trump, sicking the guard on there, the National Guard. And of course, nothing happened. They send them to Georgetown, whatever. They were figureheads driving tanks through the city. They were picking up trash, yada, yada, yada. But what you got to realize is what we're about to watch, guys, is Nancy Mace questioning the mayor of D.C. in a hearing about D.C. crime and Trump installing the National Guard in D.C., okay? This is the line of questioning, though, that Nancy pulls out in a hearing. And let me just tell you, she's not talking about crime, okay? Just FYI. Nancy goes off on her. I mean, you've seen the thumbnail. That's how you got to this stream. So you know that Nancy just goes off the deep end here on this. And it's pretty wild. All right, here we go. Now, Nancy, though, is looking a little beat up, dude. She is. Now, she's looking way skinny. She is crashing out big time. I think she's doing a lot of Ozempic, guys. She's really skinny. I think she's been doing some uppers too. I was thinking maybe it was more traditional diet pills because it seems like her teeth have been getting fucked up. It looks like she's been grinding her teeth. She is dressed like a roadside preacher, right? Look at her outfit. Doesn't she look like what was that movie where Steve Martin was like a fucking faith healer? Remember that movie where he's wearing a white suit, touching people's foreheads and shit? Dude, she's dressed like a fucking faith healer, bro. Dude. Leap of faith, yes. Oh my God. Dude, that's what she's dressed like. All right, you ready? Let's watch this clip. This is insane.
The DC Code makes numerous references to, quote, structural or institutional racism. Do you believe the DC government is structurally or institutionally racist? Yes or no? Yes or no? Is DC government racist, institutionally racist? Yes or no? All right, you can't answer the question. So my next question for Mayor 𝗫𝗄𝗽𝗪, since you're going to sit there and placate.
Dude, she didn't get, it took her a second to for the microphone thing, which always, but she's like, oh, here we go. Now it gets interesting, though. Watch this.
Just be quiet. In section 7-1234.02, DC government racist, institutionally racist? Yes or no? All right, you can't answer the question. So my next question for Mayor 𝗫𝗄𝗪, since you're going to sit there and placate or just be quiet. In section 7-1234.02 of DC Code, you use the phrase child welfare involved birthing people. Child welfare involved birthing people. Can you explain to me what this means?
I'm not that familiar with that part of the code.
Okay, and so you don't know. In section 7-1234-02 of DC Code, you use the phrase justice involved incarcerated and homeless birthing people and their non-birthing partners. Can you explain to this committee what that means?
Again, I would have to see
You
the
don't
whole
know.
section.
You're literally the mayor of DC and you don't know your own code of laws.
Well, I don't know
All right,
them
one thing we
verbatim.
noticed the DC Code struggles to define is the term woman. So Mayor 𝗡𝗟𝗓, what is a woman?
I'm a woman. Are you a woman?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
I'm a woman. You're looking at one.
Okay, good. You actually,
Dude, what a fucking burn. Did you see that? What is a woman? She's like, I'm a woman. Are you a woman? Yeah, I'm 100%. You know, and then she's like, yeah, you're looking at a woman. Dude, what a fucking burn, bro. Oh my God. Dude, we got to watch that again. That is just so satisfying because this whole what is a woman question is really dumb because the answer is simply, you know when you see it, okay? You know when you see it. I know what a woman is as soon as, you know what I'm saying? I do. I know when I see a woman, right? It doesn't matter if it's a cis woman or a straight woman or a lesbian woman or a trans woman. I know what a woman looks like, okay? And it's real easy to see. It's real easy to figure out unless you're a goddamn idiot. But this idea that you have to like give them a definition, you have to like jump through a hoop. Dude, it is kind of like a Coen Brothers movie, isn't it? It is. It is like we are living in the dumbest timeline imaginable. Now, bear in mind, guys, that this hearing is about crime. This hearing is about crime in D.C. This hearing is about the National Guard deployment in D.C. And Nancy Mace is talking about birthing persons and what is a woman. Because Nancy Mace is a weird, genital-obsessed freak, okay? Who can't, like, she can't go 2 minutes of her day without needing to fucking, you know, look inside the underwear of every gender nearby, right? Just to make sure that everybody's got approved genitalia in the pouch. Nancy, you go to Nancy, she's like, come here, let me see your pouch. Open it up. I got to make sure there's approved genitalia in there. Huh. All right, you wait my office. That's Nancy. She's like, I'm going to finish checking the other pouches, but you and I, we're going to do a little extra credit. Dude, she is so weird, bro.
the mayor of DC and you don't know
All
your
right,
own
here we
code of
go.
laws.
Well, I don't know
All right,
them
one thing we
verbatim.
noticed the DC Code struggles to define is the term woman. So Mayor 𝗡𝗟𝗓, what is a woman?
I'm a woman. Are you a woman?
100%.
Okay.
100%.
I'm a woman. You're looking at one.
Okay, good. You actually, in section 3-703 of the DC Code, you use the phrase, the intersectionality of gender and race to create unique dynamics and effects. Can you explain what this means to the committee?
Where is that, ma'am?
Section 3-703 of the DC Code. Do you know what that means? No,
could
you
you give
don't
me
know
the
what that means.
title
So
of the-
chapter 14D of the DC Code establishes
Mr.
the
Chairman,
commission.
I'm happy to answer questions.
Mr.
but
Chairman,
I
I'm going to
can't-
reclaim my time. This is not her time, it's my time. You can be quiet as I ask you questions, and then you can
recognizes
answer them.
Ms.
And then
Mace.
you can
If
answer
you
them.
would give,
I'm not, Mr. Chairman, this is my time, not hers. I'd like to reclaim my time.
Dude, she is like, bro, I know she won't let her answer. She won't give her information. She's just having a fucking meltdown. Dude, let's go, Ida. Oh, 119 knock, let's go. There are many videos that show how social democracy and our Nordic model work in practice. Can I demonstrate that once? People understand what is actually best for them without knowing it. Yeah, Ida, you should put some links to videos in the Discord. It's down, join the Discord. It's down in the description, and put some links in fucking Discord and let me like look over those videos and we'll fucking feature one in here at some point. Talk about it. I mean, it's sometimes videos like that are hard if they're like YouTube videos because they have copywritten music or things where I can't, I have to be careful. Like I might be able to play clips from them and shit, but Streaming on YouTube, it's a little more complicated. Like if I watch an Occupy Democrats video, I'll get fucking copy struck, you know, or, you know, Jubilee videos, you get copy struck. But I'd love to watch them and incorporate some of that. It would be nice to have a time talking during streams about what our model could look like. Do you know what I mean? Right? But dude, this is fucking wild that Nancy is so, and you know what's crazy about this too, guys, is in watching this, I am trying to figure out, again, this goes back to like the MAGA and their 600 fucking, you know, anti-LGBTQ bills. I'm trying to figure out what is Nancy Mace's, what's her goal here? Like, what is she actually doing? I mean, is she, you know what I'm saying? She's like reading these questions. She's just like creating content that like she can't answer the question, but everybody can see she can't answer the question because you're not even giving her space to answer the question. You're asking her a pointed question and then you're making some pointed comment after it. The only time, you know, you let her answer was the woman one, and she just burned her like so badly that Nancy had to just move on. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh my God, dude.
Let's make good use of the time, Ms.
Chair
Mace.
I'm making very good use of my
recognizes
time.
Ms.
There
Mace.
is-
You're
Ms.
making
Mace
my
has the
point.
floor.
You're the mayor of DC, and you don't even know your own code of laws. What is a birthing person?
I would assume it's someone who gives birth.
All right. Why don't you use are these women? Are these
Dude, that is so funny. Dude, what the fuck, bro? She said, what is a birthing person? She says, I would assume it's a person that gives birth. Yeah, no shit. I mean, Nancy, could you not have figured that out? Dude, Nancy Mace, 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗵𝗹𝗀, one night only, fucking mud wrestling for birthing persons, right? Mud wrestling to end birthing persons. Nancy Mace, 𝗙ecie𝗶𝗵𝗃, one night only. One night only. Ding, ding. Let's go. Dude, Nancy does look like Matlock. Dude, look at her. Look at her face, though, bro. What is going on with Nancy? She does look like Matlock. That is a good observation. Dude, she's not well, man. She is not well, dude. Dude, she is not well. She should put the glasses back on. I don't want to be that guy, but I will because, you know, I'm a judgmental weirdo like that. But she needs to put those glasses back on, dude. She doesn't look good. She used to look good, but she looks really unhealthy.
these moms?
All right, here
You
we
think
go.
is appropriate? These women are
Gives birth.
and you do very good use of my time.
See, one of the things I would like to say here before we get into this back half is it's pretty funny for Nancy to be like, oh, you don't know your own city code. It's like, guys, you think the mayor like memorizes all their city codes? Like, come on. Nobody does that. Like Nancy Mace doesn't have all the codes of the House of Representatives memorized. She doesn't have the whole Constitution memorized. Dude, Nancy Mace didn't even know the 14th Amendment and the 5th Amendment applied to fucking non-citizens. She literally, I'm telling you right now, watch this. Hold on. We're going to put her under the thing, dude. Let's go to Nancy Mace. Hold on. You ready? I'm telling you right now, dude, I will bet you anything. If we search due process on Nancy Mace, we discover she doesn't even know the Constitution. Right there. Boom. Goddamn, I'm good. Due process is for citizens. Oh, I'm sorry, Nancy. The 5th and 14th Amendments say all persons. Dude, it took 2 seconds, bro. Thank you, Your Honor. I rest my case. Okay, bingo. I just fucking won that court battle. Nancy Mace just got booted. Took 2 seconds, bro. Right? Dude, look at this shit, though. Look at what she was typing in February 2023. Everyone deserves the right to due process, even those we vehemently oppose. And now she's like, due process is for citizens. Dude, Dude, let's go. Do you find it helpful? Rate it? All right. Yes, it is helpful. Why do I have to rate it? I never rate them. Should I rate them? Dude, I never rate. I fucking limit my interactions. I'm a bad, like, fucking community noter. All right.
Miss
There
Mace,
is-
You're
Yes,
making
Mace
my
has the
point.
floor.
You're the mayor of DC and you don't even know your own code of laws. What is a birthing person?
I would assume it's someone who gives birth.
All right. Why don't you use, are these women? Are these moms? You think it's appropriate to call them birthing person? Can a man birth a person?
Well,
Be a
that's
birthing
what
person?
I would call it, but I don't write all the laws, and I'm not familiar with every
Can
section.
men get pregnant?
No.
Can men become women?
Can a man become a woman?
Yeah. Can a man become a woman?
Miss
Yes
Mace,
or no? Can a man become a woman? Yes or no?
Miss Mace, I'm not
Okay,
here to
my
talk
next
about
question,
that.
Chapter 14D of the DC.
Yeah, you see that, dude? Look at that. Dude, look what is going on, bro? She's obsessed with transgender. I mean, this look says it all. Dude, can a man give birth? Can a man become a woman? Can a man what's in your pouch? Oh, do you have a penis or a vagina? Oh, what's a birthing person? Oh, I'm Nancy Mace. Wait, I gotta snort. Hold on. Let me snort a quick line of Ozempic and get back to the questioning. Dude, it's like, and again, this is a hearing about crime and the National Guard in DC, right? Dude, people elected her. I know, dude. South Carolina elected this woman, guys. Welcome to America. Dude, welcome to America. She's running for governor, too. If she wins governor, dude, I'm leaving America. Okay? If Nancy Mace wins the governorship of South Carolina, at that point, I'm moving to the Canary Islands. Because at that point, I just realize America has a death wish. I mean, dude, Nancy is definitely, I don't know what her obsession with trans women is. I don't know. I don't know. I've thought that maybe Nancy Mace feels herself like she doesn't look feminine enough, right? I felt like maybe Nancy Mace has some wiring where she doesn't think she looks feminine enough and she hates herself because of it. And so therefore she despises like trans women. I've thought that she has some things, she has some where she looks in the mirror and just sees a version of herself that she really like can't stand. And, I don't know. I don't know what it is. I mean, she did go to an all-male academy, right? So, I wouldn't be surprised if she was sexually abused. She said she was raped, but she did, though. She went to an all-male academy where her dad was the commandant, and she graduated from an all-male academy. So there is something in her that maybe she does want to be a man. Maybe she does have something a little haywire with her that is fucked up, that is playing out that way. I mean, it's something. You don't have a crusade like that for nothing,
Code establishes the Commission on Reparations and a reparations fund to provide eligible African Americans monetary reparations or other forms of redress. Is it the position of DC government benefits should be provided to individuals on the basis of race?
I believe that the legislation requires a study.
Okay, I'm asking you, is it the position of the DC government that government benefits should be provided on the basis of race?
If you're
is the
referring to
question.
that legislation, I believe it requires a study.
Okay, I'm asking you a question. Do you believe that government benefits should be given out on the basis of race? That is the question. This is the third time I'm asking.
We have any number of benefits programs, and eligibility is established.
You're not answering
per-
any of these
per program.
questions.
Yeah, it's because your questions are fucking stupid, Nancy. That's why she's not answering any of the questions, because they're all loaded and ignorant, and you're dressed like Matlock, and you sound like an idiot every time you open your mouth. So, like, answering your questions would be a waste of fucking time, because even if she answered, you would say something dumb something stupid, or she would just bowl over you like she did when you asked her what is a woman. But yeah, dude, it is like, what a waste of fucking time, bro.
I'll give it to you. You're slick. In section 2.
Oh, did you hear that? Dude, she's like, she admitted defeat. Dude. Dude, Nancy, listen to this. She admits defeat, guys.
Asking.
We have any number of benefits programs and eligibility is established.
You're not answering any of these questions. I'll give it to you. You're slick. In section 2-1383 of the DC Code, use the phrase social value of the LGBTQ community business economy to the district. Can you explain what this means to the committee?
It means that LGBT businesses provide economic benefit to the district's economy.
Do you think all businesses provide economic benefit to the DC economy?
They should, or they would be out of business.
Yeah, of course. All right, thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Dude, what an idiot! Dude, see, you know what's crazy about this, guys? Okay, is dude, do you think all businesses, they should, or they'll be out of business? Dude, all right. Now, part of the reason why I want to talk about this here at the end is because Nancy Mace comes from South Carolina 1, okay? It includes Daniel Island. It's the beachfront property. It is like the whitest, wealthiest district in all of South Carolina, okay? Nancy Mace has lived on white privilege and nepotism. Like I said, when she went to the Citadel, her dad was the commandant. So she had this like protector high up in the government of the school while she went there. She has gotten by on her privilege and her connections for like most of her life. Okay. Now this woman right here, Muriel Bowser, is like so far beyond Nancy Mace in intellectual capability, in you know, the ability to express herself powerfully, to hold her own without like getting all whacked out and freaked out. I mean, you look at this exchange and Muriel just fucking destroys her, okay? Destroys Nancy Mace. Nancy Mace looks like a fucking weirdo up there who is so out of her element. And yet, you know what I'm saying? And yet, Nancy Mace most certainly thinks that Muriel is a DEI hire. Why? Because she's black, okay? She thinks that Muriel is automatically like not worthy because she's black. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? And like, dude, she is, it's, I don't know. I love seeing this, right? Can't stand the alt-right Christian nationals. You're not all like that. You're not like Nancy Mace, Janae. Come on. There's no way you're like Nancy Mace. I don't know what you're talking about, right? I don't think you're like Nancy Mace, right? Nah, you're better than Nancy Mace. Dude, yeah, no, the subtext is crazy. But Muriel is like so composed, right? She's so powerful, holding her own against Nancy Mace. Now, this though, I gotta take a moment here, all right, to fucking say that like Tim Walz, I was not as impressed when Tim Walz like was up in front of Nancy, right, dude? Tim kind of caved, bro. I was a little disappointed, but you know he's got time, dude. You gotta be able to roll Nancy Mace, dude. Wow, isn't that crazy? Dude, I'm just like, man, I'm just sad that we're still grappling with fucking the racism. You know what I'm saying? Like, it makes me sad that, like, I feel like, you know, I know we've made some advancements, so I can't just be negative, but, like, sometimes I feel like we haven't made nearly enough advancements. Really? I really do. I feel like, man, we still got so far to go, right? But we've definitely made a lot of advancements. Because, man, when I was a kid, you wouldn't see this, okay? When I was a kid, literally, there were not a lot of black people in positions of power, and you certainly didn't see them a lot on TV. And what's more, that when you did see black people on TV, they were usually in an all-black show that was about like how good their family life was, even though they were poor. That was the whole ethos. Or, you know, the Jeffersons, where they made it and they lived in an all-white apartment building, you know? But so we've definitely advanced for sure. But man, I wish we could just like go further, you know, go further, go faster. Dude, yeah. Oh, being half black, half white. Yeah, that's tough. Man, I imagine, Talia, with you being half black, half white, then you run into the, like, I've known a couple people that were half and half, and they ran into dual problems where they were too black for their white parts and too white for their black parts. And so they were constantly like not, you know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the people I knew that were mixed race were struggling on both sides, you know what I'm saying? Where like they were just in this weird cultural void because each side, each of their mixes had issues with them, you know? And it's tough, man. It's fucking tough. And the hate was a seed always in them. Oh, without a doubt. Without a doubt. Well, so you know what is funny is you mentioned like the alt-right Christians, and I think what's hard about it is Christianity. So Christianity has gotten less and less. Okay, there was a time like when I was a kid, everybody was Christian. Okay, and even if you weren't Christian, you went to church like you were Christian. Everybody just did it. And now, like so much of the country is not Christian, which has made the Christians feel like their shit is disappearing. And so now a lot of them are like scrambling for power. And so it reminds me a little bit of the Reformation, right? If you go back and look at the history of Christianity, Christianity became a moneyed thing and wealth, and they were selling salvation and all that. And it became very corrupt and power mongering, and they had to sort of like re-fucking, you know, they sort of broke it all down and shit. And I feel like we're kind of in that. Like, I feel like the death rattle. I also think it has a little bit to do with AI, guys. I'll be honest. I've said this before, that my prediction is that artificial intelligence is going to end religion. Because artificial intelligence, you can teach them about religion, but you can't teach an AI to worship a deity because it doesn't make rational sense. So higher intelligence won't worship an unseen deity. And so what's going to happen is people are going to commune with higher intelligence to the points of where we are going to evolve to no longer believe in deities. And it's coming. You know what I'm saying? It's coming. AI is going to end religion. And I think that's part of our scramble. Okay? That is part of our scramble. Dude, April, I'm sorry. I love you, but I don't know what your fucking, you know, your preaching in my fucking chat is getting a little weird. All right? All right? You're a newbie. You know, but like we're not here. This ain't a Christian channel, all right? I don't mind if you believe in Christianity, but this, you got to realize this is not a Christian channel. So we don't want your Christian conversion, okay? Please respect the non-Christian channel, right? I don't go to church and walk in there and be like, "Fuck you guys, your religion is bullshit." When I go to church, I just fucking pray and fucking hang out. You know what I mean? So you got to do the same goddamn thing here, which is like realize this ain't a Christian fucking channel, right? You know, but it's about relationship. Well, yeah, you should have relationships with human beings in the planet you live on more so than an invisible deity, right? I think if your relationship is with an invisible entity, you're fucking missing out on relationships here in, you know, and with the planet and the people. Right? We have a relationship with fucking Earth, right? Let's work on those. But yeah, dude, AI is definitely gonna squash the I think this is part of the reason why Christians are freaked out right now. They don't even know it, but they can sense it. They can sense that the end is coming. Oh. All right, let's go. Grok worships Trump. Dude, Grok worships some shit. Let's go. Yeah, I'm just telling you guys, I don't want to see Jesus preaching in the chat, okay? I will fucking silence that. I will squash your First Amendment rights, all right? Because this is not a preaching space, all right? So please respect that, or not, or don't respect it, and I'll just hide your messages. We can go that route too. I don't care. I'm an equal opportunity employer. Let's go, dude. Let's go. I mean, dude, I have a mission to try and and if I could end Christianity, if there's a mission statement I would have, if there was one thing I could do, I would end the Abrahamic religions. If I could pick one thing to do for the world where I could actually accomplish it, that would be like that. I would end the Abrahamic religions, and I would watch how war, and I mean, yeah, those are the ones. Those are the problematic ones, right? Because they're three heads of the same dragon, right? If you look at it, they're all the same religion, but they're all warring for which version of the religion is the right one. And it's this crazy power shit. You know what I'm saying? Dude, I can explain my non-belief. See, now you're gone. Sorry, you and your little snarky, arrogant shit. You can explain your non-belief to him. I'm not going to explain my non-belief. First off, there is no God. And secondly, if there is a God, I'm going to say, fuck you, bro. You let all your fucking earthly creations die and hurt each other and fucking kill each other because you wouldn't tell them which version of the religion was the real one. Get fucked, you abusive fucking piece of shit, is what I'll tell him. It's what everybody should tell him. Give me a fucking break with your arrogant shit. Dude, seriously. Get fucked is what I will tell him. Seriously, who would create a whole world of people and then let them kill each other for 2,000 years when he could come down and say, all right, guys, here's the truth for all of you. Let me show you so we can live in peace. Only a sadistic fucking bastard would do that shit. Nobody that loved their I love my family. I wouldn't turn them against each other and then wait for them to worship me or have faith in me. That's fucking some sadistic ass shit, bro. Give me a fucking break, dude. There's no fucking way. That is some of the most toxic, abusive shit I've ever seen in my life. And yeah, I'm going to speak up about it. And then if I burn, I burn. I'm not afraid to burn. Give me a fucking break, bro. Let's go. Dude, I don't like toxic abusiveness. You know what I'm saying? Come on, man. Seriously, I love my family. Okay? I love the kid that I help create. Okay? And so I treat him with respect. I have very clear communication with him. I don't play games with him of you need to suffer for me and you need to fucking worship me and I'm going to not tell you what's what and you need to just fucking obey me to the hilt. Dude, that's abuse. Okay? No, that's not love. Love is letting people breathe. Okay? Love is letting people fucking expand and fucking letting them off the hook. Okay? Love is not punishment. You don't punish people you love. There is no punishment in love. If there's punishment, it's abuse. Okay? There is. If there is punishment, it is abuse. You know what I'm saying? Period. Dude, period. All right. Dude, let's go. Now we dance. And then we're going to look at a little Cenk Uyghur. Dude, don't get me started, though. Right? I'm sorry, too. If you're Christians, you don't like me, I get it. But I'm on a mission. I'm on a mission to bring that shit down, boss. Jesus. Dude, I grew up around that shit. I've watched it cause a lot of harm, bro. And then I studied it, the history of it, and then I was like, God damn, bro. You study the history of how religion came up, and it's like, dude, it's fucking hard to watch. Epstein, let's go. Let's go, baby. Dude, let's go. Ooh. Dude, yeah, I know. No, I know, KB. They say God's love is unconditional, but it's entirely conditional. The whole thing is conditional, right? There's nothing unconditional about it whatsoever. It's like condition after condition after condition after condition after condition. And then failure means you burn for eternity. Oh, shit. Jesus. All right, you ready? Let's dance, shall we? My apologies, though. I do respect your ability to believe in it, though. You believe in it and it works for you, more power to you. Dude, I took my son to church a couple times. I did. I wanted him to see what church was like. And so we went to several church services when he was younger, when he was in like middle school, right? I waited until he was a little older so he could see the environment. You know, we found churches that were like open and accepting of all people. And we went a couple times, you know, I was like, you know what I'm saying? Dude, you gotta fucking, right? You gotta fucking like go in there and look at that shit. Dude, I was studying to be a minister when I was like 13, dude. I was gonna be a minister. You have no idea. Yeah, dude, I was gonna be a minister when I was younger. Because I came from a really like powerful, painful family, a lot of trauma. And so I fell into like church and Jesus-y shit and the ministry thinking that shit was going to save me and all that. You know what I'm saying? And so I believe me, I did not arrive before you with ignorance of the scripture. Okay. I fucking was very deeply involved in the scripture. In a family that is very deeply involved. I still have brothers that are in the Assembly of God Church that build churches in Romania. They speak in tongues. They do all kinds of like devout shit. Okay. My opinions on the scripture are formed of having been there, having deeply involved in both, you know, doing it and participating in it, seeing my family participate in it, and then studying the history of it in college and higher education. All right. So I didn't get here like by being uninvolved or uninformed, just so you know. All right. You ready? Let's fucking dance, baby. Whoa. Come on. Epstein. Get off religion? Nah, you get off religion. I just got on religion. Whoa. Oh, shit. Let's go. Let's get it. Come on.
feeling that I have now, almost a bit holy, notion that I will make it out somehow.
Oh, yeah, baby. Woo! Let's go, baby. Ooh, my recovery's getting quicker. Ooh. All right. Yeah, no, I know I get a little ornery when fucking discussing Christianity. It's hard, dude. I feel like it's the number one problem we face in America right now is the Christianity situation. With fucking Christianity's grappling for control of our government and our laws and our fucking social norms. And it is like gnarly fucking shit. And they're like outside the bounds of reality. They don't want to believe in climate change. They don't want to look at data. They don't want to believe things here on the tangible earth because they believe they have this fucking, get out of reason free card. And it's become really, really extreme. And the same issue I have is the issue I have with police guys, right? Because you say like there's bad cops, but the good cops don't fight the bad cops because they don't want to like be forced out of being cops. And so the problem is we have really toxic, extreme Christianity in America, but all the supposed good Christians that disagree with these people, they're not fighting them openly and making a huge war against the extremism. They're like, because the extremism is Christian, they're allowing it. They're saying, oh, we don't agree with it, but it is our faith, so we're allowing it. And that is dangerous. That's how people die. It's like if there were any good Christians, they would be actively trying to fight all the bad Christians and get them out of their religion. Or they'd be quitting the religion and going and fucking starting something else, And so that is really fucking, that's the last thing I'll say. And then we can move on now. All right. But yeah, that shit though, you want to get me wound up. That's the way to do it. Because dude, that is literally, it's like one of the number one problems America faces right now is Christians. They're like super problematic, boss. Dude. Let's go. Tallarico is okay. I mean, yeah, he seems okay. But again, though, like, he's okay, but like, no. That's not really, that's one guy. But yeah, no, he seems all right. But dude, I just would like to see Christians out of government. Right? But yeah, you're right. He definitely doesn't want to push it on people. For sure, but all right. Moving on though. Let's go. What do we got next? Next, we got this little Epstein thing. Hold on. Let me find the Epstein thing that I had. Right? Which I thought was interesting. And then Oh, yeah. Okay, so here, you ready? Dude, this is an article. Do you guys remember Julie K. Brown? Okay, I don't know if you remember her, but so Julie K. Brown wrote this book, Perversion of Justice. And so Julie K. Brown was the writer who was with the Miami Herald, okay? And she was one of the original writers that broke this shit wide open after it like got thrown under the rug. Acosta gave him immunity, right? Barry Krischer, they threw everything under the rug. Epstein got off along with his lieutenants, Sarah Kellen, Leslie Groff, Natalie Marcinkovan, Adriana Ross. And then Julie K. Brown kept researching this for years. The Miami Herald reporter, she wrote this book and she blew the case wide open. Okay. And this is why Epstein got arrested the second time. Okay. This is why he got arrested in 2019 and brought everything to a head was because of Julie K. Brown's reporting. Now, the reason why I gave you that little like refresher course in Julie K. Brown is because she has another article here in the Miami Herald, all right, that just came out, dude, yesterday. Or, well, yesterday, but today, you know what I'm saying? Like the 18th, okay? I'm a bookworm a little bit. I mean, I don't read as much as Jenny does. I used to be a bookworm. I am more of a magazine worm, okay? I was a magazine worm, and then I am an online reader worm. But I used to read some books. But I tend to like, it's different. Like Jenny, she reads a lot of literature. I didn't read a lot of literature. I read a lot of investigative reporting. I read a lot of true crime. I read a lot of like news related stuff. Okay. I like technical sort of philosophy, sort of like academia stuff and articles. And Jenny, she likes the literature. Although I do like to read a little Dean Koontz. I went through a Dean Koontz phase for a little bit there when I was a filmmaker. And I wanted to take one of Dean Koontz's books and make a movie out of it. And I actually like wrote him a letter and he replied back to me explaining why he wouldn't do it. But it was pretty interesting. Like having writing letters with Dean Koontz was interesting. But anyway, Julie K. Brown is here with a new article today that came out. You like fantasy and sci-fi? Let's go. Let's go. And yeah, no, I will, hold on. I will fucking put that. Let me copy that link and put it. We'll get that ready for after this. All right, we'll look at that. The loyalty test. Let's go. Dude, and also, don't we have a link, Natalie, for Cenk Uygur? I believe there's a Cenk Uygur link. But this is important, dude. Look at this. GOP lawmaker makes blockbuster claim FBI has at least 20 names of suspected Epstein clients. Now, why is this a bombshell, guys? Okay, well, for obvious reasons. Like one is for a GOP lawmaker making the claim that the FBI has 20 names. That's a big deal because why? Because 𝗙ście Patel, Pam Bondi, Dan Bongino, they all said there weren't any names. Okay, let me see if we can even find, hold on, let me grab this link too. Okay, there we go. All right, you know what I'm saying? Like, let me see if we can find one. I bet we can find one, no names, right? Let's see if we can find a clip. All right, here we go.
And let me follow up on Senator Kennedy's question because he asked you, and I'll be very precise here. You've seen most of the files. Who, if anyone, did Epstein traffic these young women to besides himself? And you said himself, there's no credible information, none, If there were, I would bring the case yesterday that he trafficked to other individuals. And Kennedy, the information we have, again, is limited. And Senator Kennedy said, the answer is no one. And you said, for the information we have. So is it your testimony today that in all the Epstein files, that Jeffrey Epstein trafficked no one to anyone but himself? Is that your testimony, Mr.
I never
Patel?
said Jeffrey Epstein didn't traffic anyone else.
Did he traffic any young woman to someone other than himself? That was Mr. Kennedy's question,
And I
Senator Kennedy's
said
question.
the information that 3 administrations have had access to
I'm
have
asking
made
you-
determinations that there are no investigative leads that were credible to prosecute and investigate any others. I'm specifically
I'm asking
stating
you whether
we
it's
were
your
working on.
testimony today.
Dude, he's such a snarky little fucking clown, right? But so he's saying, oh, he didn't say Jeffrey didn't traffic, but he is saying that the FBI has no information, that anybody trafficked, is what he's saying. They don't have any credible information that anybody trafficked, okay? And here's another one.
And so have you reviewed those 302 documents where the victims name the people who victimized them?
If I personally know, but the FBI has.
So how can you sit here and in front of the Senate and say there are no names?
I said
I named one
information-
today.
I said we are not in the practice at the Department of Justice FBI of releasing victims' names. That is not what we do. We are also not in the habit of releasing incredible information. That's not what we do. Your
The
representation.
president is not implicated. Why not release everything that involves
We have released everything, the president and anyone else's side, that is credible and lawfully be able to be released. Your fixation on this matter and baseless accusations that I'm hiding
also
child
Mr. Massey's.
pedophiles.
Dude, oh shit. Dude, he does not like 𝗙𝗪𝗏𝗏, okay? You know what I'm saying? He does not like 𝗙𝗪𝗏𝗏 at all, dude. They fucking go to war, dude. Oh shit. All right, but anyway, so we have some standing here where you see that they say there's no names, is what they say. Epstein did stuff with girls, but nobody else. A Republican lawmaker revealed for the first time Wednesday that there is a quasi list of suspected clients of sex trafficker Jeffrey Epstein that can be compiled from a series of witness statements and other evidence gathered by the FBI. Okay, Rep. Thomas Massey told the House Judiciary Committee that the FBI has the names of at least 20 people tied to Epstein, including prominent figures in the music industry, in finance, in politics, and in banking. 20 people. And again, guys, these are from those witness statements. Okay? The FBI did a full investigation. They had like a 53-page indictment on Epstein before Alex Acosta wiped it away. They talked to so many people. They have like field reports from witnesses and people have reported Epstein like 1,000 different victims. And it goes all the way back to 1996 when Maria Farmer and Annie Farmer first called the FBI and reported Jeffrey Epstein and Donald Trump. Okay? They have the names. Okay? The revelation that there are names of suspects in the FBI files comes as FBI Director 𝗙cie Patel continued to insist there is no evidence of anyone else involved in Epstein's crimes. Huh. That's interesting, isn't it? Right? That there is no Epstein client list and that he has taken no steps to investigate some of the men named in the FBI files. Now, you see that like 𝗙cie Patel keeps doing this wordplay where he says credible, okay? And they established this from the very beginning with Donald Trump, where they said, we will follow up any credible leads. So they've created a class of credibility, even though we don't know what the criterion is that makes something credible or not credible. Because if they're investigating no one, they're essentially saying all of their witness statements are not credible. And it's like, okay, well, if all of the witnesses are not credible, then why is Ghislaine Maxwell in prison? I mean, she went to prison. They went before a jury. So obviously some of these witnesses, some of this testimony, a lot of it is credible because it was enough to get a jury conviction and put that woman in prison. But by saying, well, we'll investigate anything credible, and then deciding that everything is not credible for whatever reason, they've created a word loophole for them to be able to escape culpability. And they do this all the time. I mean, politicians kind of do this as a science, right? Where they create word loopholes. They do. I mean, it's part of the job. But the FBI should not be creating word loopholes when they have all this information. And it can clearly be investigated. Right? Like, you're not saying we're going to fucking say people are guilty right off the bat, but there's no fucking reason why they can't be investigating all of those names. They should have been doing it for the last 6 years. You know what I'm saying? But Mace cites files used by the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, which summarize interviews with witnesses and suspects. The lawmaker claimed those files include one Hollywood producer worth a few $100 million, one royal prince, one high-profile individual in the music industry, one very prominent banker, one high-profile government official, one high-profile former politician, one owner of a car company in Italy, one rock star, one magician. We know the magician is David Copperfield, right? At least 6 billionaires, including a billionaire from Canada. We know these people exist in the FBI files, the files that you control. Patel said he had asked FBI agents to review the existing files and added any investigations that arise from any credible investigation will be brought. There have been no new materials brought to me. On Tuesday, Patel blamed former Miami federal prosecutor Alexander Acosta for what he called the original sin, explaining that the decision to give federal immunity to Epstein in 2008 has hampered almost every effort by the FBI and Justice Department to hold those involved in Epstein's criminal operation accountable. Patel, a podcaster, God, dude, our whole government is like podcasters and reality TV stars, guys. It's like, what are we doing, bro? What are we doing? Patel, a podcaster who once called for the release of the files and helped propagate conspiracy theories about why they weren't being made public, testified just days before Acosta is set to finally tell his side of the story before a congressional committee. Dude, that Acosta fucking thing, I don't know if it's going to be public or what, but that's going to be the one, like, that's the one I want to see. You know what I'm saying? Right? That's the one that I want to see. Okay. On Friday, Acosta will be grilled by the House Oversight Committee in closed door, of course, testimony for the first time since he resigned as U.S. Labor Secretary amid renewed scrutiny of the case. Acosta was just 37 and a rising star in the Republican Party who had noble ambitions of becoming a U.S. Supreme Court Justice when he was named U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of Florida in 2005. By the time he was sworn in, the FBI was already investigating Epstein, and evidence suggested that the crimes against children and young women he committed in Palm Beach went well beyond Florida. Right? There he is. Now 56, Acosta has almost vanished from public life. Good. Good, dude. He should be in prison. Other than appearing from time to time to discuss economic issues on the conservative TV network Newsmax, where he's also on the network's board of directors and chair of its audit committee, the Miami Herald was unsuccessful in obtaining a comment from Newsmax, which in recent months has portrayed Acosta as a victim of the deep state, suggesting Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell were unfairly targeted. Now, dude, we have seen this. Remember, who's the newscaster at Newsmax, guys, who was like saying like, oh, Ghislaine Maxwell's a victim. Who was that guy? Right? Dude, who was that fucking guy? I can't remember his name. Greg Kelly. Yes. Oh my God, dude. Right? Thank you. Let's find a good quote. Here he is. You ready? Here he is, dude. And what do you know? He's at Newsmax. He's at the news station that 𝗙𝗪𝗪 is on the board. Isn't that right? Isn't that a coincidence there, guys? That like 𝗙𝗪𝗪 is on Newsmax, and so the Newsmax guy is out here saying, "Oh yeah, Ghislaine, she's a victim. Oh yeah, oh."
Let's find out, what is this all about? And she's also been subpoenaed by the Oversight Committee. I think this is great. I do have a feeling that she just might be a victim. She just might be.
She just might be.
There was a rush to judgment. There was a lot of chaos there for a while. All right, granted,
there was a lot of perjury. There's a lot of fucking perjury in her little interview with Todd Blanche. Isn't that gnarly? Here he goes, though.
All right, granted, she hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, and I know that's apparently not good.
Granted, she hung out with Jeffrey Epstein, and I know that's not good. Dude, Greg Kelly, she sexually abused girls, teenage girls, right with him. You fucking clown! Dude, what? You know what I'm saying? Like, wow, this guy is really something to behold.
But she's in jail for how long now? 20 years. A 20-year sentence. Let's find out.
Oh, yeah, 20 years. It's a good sentence there, Greg Kelly. Isn't that funny? This is the news station that 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗧 sits on the board of. All right? So, right, he is on the network's board of directors and the chair of its audit committee. Okay, and the Miami Herald was unsuccessful in getting a comment from Newsmax, of course. 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗧 still owns a $2.6 million mansion in McLean, Virginia, which he and his wife bought after being named labor secretary by President Trump in 2017. Nowadays, he advises private market ventures and serves as a public speaker, according to his Newsmax bio. A first-generation Cuban-American, 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗧 skipped his senior year of high school to enter Harvard a year early. Upon graduation in 1994, he worked as a law clerk for future Supreme Court Justice Samuel Alito, who was then a federal appeals court judge. 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗧 then took a job with the prestigious law firm Kirkland & Ellis in Washington, became a member of the Federalist Society, of course, a conservative organization that has influenced the appointment of judges, including members of the Supreme Court. 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗧 was appointed in 2001 under the Bush admin as a deputy assistant attorney general in the Civil Rights Division. He also served on the NLRB before being appointed a U.S. attorney in Miami. Okay, right? There's Epstein in 2008. 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗧 has rarely spoken about the Epstein case. To this day, he has stood firm on his decision to give Epstein a plea deal, arguing in the past that the evidence wasn't strong enough to prosecute him on serious sex trafficking charges. That's bullshit. There was plenty of evidence. There was financial evidence. There was circumstantial evidence. There was witness evidence. There was like a lot of evidence. There were cameras and videotapes and shit. Of course, that shit disappeared courtesy of Adriana Ross. But an investigation completed in 2020 by the Justice Department concluded 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗧 used poor judgment in resolving the case with such a lenient plea deal. One that not only gave Epstein immunity from federal charges, but also gave immunity to 4 co-conspirators and an unidentified number of others who were involved. Under the deal, Epstein pled guilty in state court to solicitation of prostitution and solicitation of someone under 18. He was sentenced to 18 months in county jail, served 13, most of it under a work release program, which allowed him to leave prison during the day. It was 12 hours a day, 6 days a week he got to leave. And he continued to abuse young women in his Palm Beach office while he was an inmate. That's really big, guys. He continued to abuse women while he was like in jail for abusing. Okay. 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗧 has also blamed the Palm Beach state attorney, Barry Krischer, specifically his decision early on to pursue only a misdemeanor charge and a fine against Epstein, which complicated any future federal prosecution. And dude, Krischer and 𝗙𝗪𝗪𝗧 both sank this. We found out later that 𝗙ście and 𝗃𝗃 were talking in the negotiation of this deal, even though after the immunity deal, they like blamed each other, but they were talking, okay? I didn't send you a picture of the Formosa. Hold on, I get you. Gotta take a break here for a sec. I thought I did. Oh, no, I didn't. All right. There we go. Let's go. There we go. Dude, you're welcome, Janae. I'm doing the best I can. Thank you for having the same last name as me. It's nice. All right. There you go. There's Formosa. Dude, I saw your message, though, early, right? I saw it right away. Bro saw the message. Let's go. All right. So, dude, so 𝗙ście and 𝗃𝗃, they both fucked this thing up, and then they played like it was the other guy's fault, right? You know what I'm saying? Dude, it's so smarmy, okay? 𝗙ście called 𝗃𝗃's reasoning an attempt to rewrite history. No matter how my office resolved the state charges, the U.S. attorney always had the ability to file his own criminal charges, 𝗙ście said in a statement at the time of 𝗃𝗃's resignation. The lead line federal prosecutor who handled the case in Florida, Marie Villafaña, told federal investigators in 2019 that she had drawn up a 53-page draft indictment in 2007 against Epstein, accusing him of sex trafficking minors while running a systemic operation using others to recruit girls. If convicted, Epstein may have served life in prison. Villafaña, who has never spoken publicly and has since resigned, told investigators she pleaded with her bosses to prosecute him to no avail. Okay, the DOJ's investigation into Epstein's plea deal also hit several roadblocks, among them the discovery that 11 months worth of 𝗃𝗃's emails during the negotiations had vanished. Oh, that's really timely, isn't it? 11 months of 𝗃𝗃's emails during the negotiations just vanished. Okay. Federal investigators blame the gap from May 2007 to April 2008 on a technical glitch that they said wasn't isolated to 𝗃𝗃 and had affected other federal email accounts. Of course, they extrapolated that glitch across multiple accounts so they could say that later. But isn't that convenient? That all his emails, yep, dog, dude, the dog, he's got the dog in him. The dog ate the fucking homework. The missing emails included the months and days leading up to and following October 12, 2007, when 𝗃𝗃 had a private breakfast meeting in Palm Beach with Epstein's lawyer, Jay Lefkowitz, a former Kirkland and Ellis law colleague. So Epstein's lawyer was one of his old buddies from the prestigious firm in Washington. The Miami Herald, in its 2018 investigation of the case, uncovered evidence suggesting Epstein and his battery of high-priced attorneys exerted undue influence over both state and federal prosecutors. And this includes our little buddy, Alan Dershowitz, okay, among other lawyers hired by Epstein, former Clinton special prosecutor and Kirkland Ellis lawyer Kenneth Starr, lawyer and friend Alan Dershowitz, who was later accused by Virginia Giuffre of sexual abuse, although she later recanted in lieu of threats, and Miami lawyer Lilian Sanchez, who, according to DOJ probe, had dated one of the federal prosecutors on the Epstein case, Matthew Menschel. So this whole thing is just a clusterflugen of like incestuous relationships and old partnerships and crony lawyering, okay? Emails between Epstein's lawyers and federal prosecutors obtained by the Herald showed the Epstein's lawyers repeatedly made demands and that federal prosecutors acquiesced each step of the way. So isn't that interesting, right? That this guy, they've got him like dead to rights, and his lawyers are making demands, and the federal government just keeps acquiescing, right? Thank you for the commitment you made to me during our October 12 meeting, Lefkowitz wrote in a letter to 𝗃_𝗽 after their breakfast meeting in Palm Beach. He added that he was hopeful that 𝗃_𝗽 would abide by a promise to keep the deal confidential. By law, prosecutors were required to notify Epstein victims in advance of any plea agreement. Scorpion Kingdom, let's go, baby! We got 5 membership gifteds. Welcome to the new members. Dude, the cluster flugen. Let's go, baby. Appreciate you, boss. Dude, that's crazy. And of course, the emails that led up to that breakfast meeting, we don't get to see any of those. Okay? And again, though, they did not let the victims know, guys. They did not let the victims know. They fucked the victims so hard, like just royally. The original sin in the Epstein case was the way it was initially brought by Mr. 𝗃_𝗽, Patel told the Senate Judiciary Committee. Mr. 𝗃_𝗽 allowed Epstein to enter in 2008 to plea to a non-prosecution agreement, which then the courts issued mandates and protective orders legally prohibiting anyone from ever seeing that material ever again without the permission of the court. Okay? So they allowed him to enter the non-prosecution agreement that, dude, that's crazy. That fucking hid all of the stuff, bro. The non-prosecution also barred future prosecution of those involved at the time. Dude, which then the courts issued mandates and protective orders legally prohibiting anyone from ever seeing that material ever again. So they were able to lock up all of everything related to that non-prosecution agreement is now tied up in the court, like safekeeping, protected. Dude, that's so dirty. That's so dirty. A judge later ruled the Epstein deal was illegal, but the courts ultimately ruled that it was too late to undo it. Still, the deal's provisions did not stop then U.S. Attorney in New York, Jeffrey Berman, from bringing new charges against Epstein in 2019 in the wake of the Herald series. Epstein, 66, was arrested July 6, 2019 on federal charges of sex trafficking minors. A month later, he was found hanging in his cell. The medical examiner in New York ruled the death a suicide, although Epstein's brother, a private forensic pathologist he hired, and Epstein's lawyers have said they don't believe he killed himself. Okay, prosecutors did arrest Maxwell, Epstein's former girlfriend and a British socialite who was convicted on sex trafficking charges in 2021, serving a 20-year prison sentence that has been like relaxed since Trump came back into power. She's appealing her conviction to the Supreme Court, and part of her argument is that she's covered by the immunity clause in the 2008 agreement, even though she was not named. All right. Former Attorney General William Barr testified for the Oversight Committee under a subpoena last month that he was confident Epstein's death was a suicide. Now, William Barr's dad had some stake in this. William Barr's dad was the headmaster at the Dalton School, and he's the guy who hired Epstein as a teacher with no teacher credentials way back in the 70s. So, I mean, everybody that's involved in this is tied up with Trump and with Epstein and this chaotic case. Okay, Barr, who worked for the CIA while in law school. All right, so former Attorney General testified that he believed it was a suicide. He also disputed rumors Epstein had any ties to intelligence agencies. Barr, who worked for the CIA while in law school in the 70s, said the notion he was working for intelligence was dubious. Many American businessmen who have foreign contacts sometimes will talk to intelligence agencies and provide information to them. The CIA has a unit that goes around and talks to people who are well-connected and asks them questions. But again, bro, this is some phony-ass shit, bro. My God. But the general gist of this is we know names, okay? There are 20 names, including some prominent ones, and Kash Patel and Pam Bondi and everybody out there saying, you know what? We don't know. You know what I'm saying? They're like, whoopsie. Yeah, everybody goes free. We don't know anybody's names, right? We got no names. Nobody knows anything. Nothing credible. They know names. Okay? They do. They know names, guys. They absolutely do. They absolutely have many fucking names. All right? Massey says there's 20. I venture to guess there's probably a lot more if they go through there. And what's more, though, one of the things that I thought was really interesting was this little bit with Swalwell right here. Watch this little minute and 35. And then we're going to move on. We're going to watch. We got 2 more things before I go, but watch this.
You said you don't know the number of times Trump's name appears in the files, so it could at least be 1,000 times. Is that right?
The number is a total misleading factor. We have not released anyone's name in the Epstein files that has not been credible.
Director, could it at least be 1,000 times?
We have released every piece of legally permissible information.
Okay,
you can characterize the numbers however you want it.
Claiming my time, Director. It sounds like if you don't know the number, it could at least be 1,000 times.
It's not. It's not.
Is it at least 500 times?
No.
Is it at least 100 times?
No.
Then what's the number?
I don't know the number, but it's not that.
Do you think it might be your job to know the number?
My job is to provide for the safety and security of this country. My job is not...
Dude, my job is to provide for the safety and security of this country. Well, then you should probably fucking know the number, right? Because the safety and security of 1,000 women are involved with that number.
To engage in political innuendo, so you can go out to the sticks and get your 20-second hit in your fundraising article. And keep going, reclaiming your time, because the people of California are being underserved by your representation.
If the president is not implicated, why not release everything that involves him?
We have released everything, the president and anyone else's side.
Dude, all he does, do you see that, like, all he does is, like, he just flaps his gums and says shit that, like, right-wing grifters will be like, ooh, 𝗙ście𝗶𝗶, he's fucking, right? What he is he's like the kid in class who smarts off to the teacher right before they get sent to the principal's office. And everyone's like, oh, yeah, dude, did you hear what he said to the teacher? Oh, right? It's like, oh, great. That's what right-wing government is now. It's a bunch of class clowns that will say gnarly shit, and then they all, like, fucking give the self-congratulatory circle jerk. Oh, yay! Right? Oh, look at how badass they are because he told the teacher to go F herself. Oh. Dude, it is one ginormous middle school, right? You know? It's fucking crazy, dude. It is fucking crazy.
That is credible and lawfully be able to be released. Your fixation on this matter and baseless accusations that I'm hiding child pedophiles is disgusting. Anyone that says that needs to look at the stats alone and go back to the state of California, who's receiving the biggest surge in FBI resources through my redeployment because the cities of Los Angeles, San Diego, and San Francisco are needed.
Director, remembering your oath to tell the truth, did you ever tell Donald Trump his name is in the files?
I have never spoken to President Trump about the Epstein files.
All right, because, so, dude, there's information in there, okay? I don't know what it is, but some of these questions, like that one right there, did you ever tell Donald Trump how, his name's in the files? And he says, I've never discussed this. Yeah, they're setting people up, okay? They have some information. I know Ron Wyden has been going crazy with looking at the finances. This shit is definitely going to come out. All we need to do, man, we need to win the House, guys. If we win the House in 2026, this shit is going to hit the fan, bro. Right? This shit is going to hit the fan. And names that are circled. Yeah, so this isn't even about the black book, right? This is about, like, they're talking about victims in the statements. Okay, there are witness statements where the witnesses said who they fucking hooked up with, right? I mean, the black book is like, that is like public knowledge. Dude, the black book or whatever, they found that ages ago. That was like filled with names and numbers and shit. There's videos you can watch. I feel like it was like a waiter in Vermont or some shit, or there was some guy who was like a busboy in Vermont or something who found the book and then they verified it. And so the black book actually exists, right? And you know what I mean? So that is that's there. Like they've had that for a while, but this stuff is actual witness statements. Okay. This is like people being mentioned in statements and people being mentioned in FBI interviews going all the way back to 1996 when Maria Farmer and Annie Farmer, when they called the FBI. But, well, midterms will be on hold. Well, so T-bills, it doesn't matter, boss, right? It doesn't matter if there's an attack. Midterms, there won't be on hold, and you're wrong. The midterms will happen regardless of if we're in World War III, okay? Wars and attacks and that shit, martial law, none of that stops elections. Elections are run by the state. The federal government cannot stop them. We had elections during the Civil fucking War, boss. There are going to be elections in 2026. You just don't understand. You are wrong. There's nothing they can do to stop them. He would have to conquer all 50 states and topple all 50 state governments in order to make that happen. And it's just not going to happen, right? Trump's a fucking cuck bitch who can't even fucking, right? He backed off on sending the National Guard to Chicago because he is a pussy. Dude, Trump is a gum flapper, but he is a chicken shit, bro. He had bone spurs. Dude, give me a fucking break. The guy's not a military leader. You think Pete Hegseth running the military is going to conquer the fucking United States? Goddamn, dude, that guy can barely fucking, find his way out of his office by 5 p.m., dude, after he's had fucking 18 champagnes. Dude, give me a fucking break. These guys are clowns. They're not doing shit. We're going to fucking vote them out, and we're going to be done with this shit. But no more fucking around. No more voting fascist fucking assholes. You know what I'm saying? God damn it. We should have done it right off the bat. But America's too goddamn racist and misogynist to vote for the black woman. Fucking shitheads. We're all shitheads. Let's go. Trump looks like a pancreas. Dude, I know. That's all right. Dude, we got to win in 26, though. Dude, I feel annoyed, though, because I was like, dude, we got to win in 2024. And we fucked around, and now it's like we got to win in 2026. But, dude, if we don't win in 2026, then we might be cooked. Because I'm telling you, if we don't win the House and they actually get their shit together and pass legislation, they could make it real hard to fucking, you know what I mean? Like, if we don't win in 2026, because right now, we're just lucky that they're not fucking, you know what I'm saying? Right now, we're just not. Dude, Husk, you're too negative, boss. I'm sorry. I'm removing you from the chat. I appreciate your zeal, but no offense, boss, but fighting fascism is impossible when you have some whiny fucking person who's like, it's already over. We're already done. You can't do nothing. Fuck off. I'm going to keep fighting. You take your negativity and fucking lump out, you fucking weirdo. All right? I ain't done until I'm fucking done fighting. So fuck you, right? Your attitude of it's already over, it's already done, you're going to fucking lose the goddamn thing. You need to pull your head out of your ass and wake the fuck up, bro, and start fighting instead of being a whiny little bitch. Seriously. Dude, yeah, defeatism, dude, that shit'll kill you. Right? Dude, he's gone now, though. We're not going to have to listen to his shit anymore, dude. All right? Fuck that. Dude, I will bounce anybody who is fucking a whiny negative Nancy. No negative Nancy's allowed, boss. We're not going to, I get it. If you're worried about that shit, I understand having worries about the elections and the fascism and this, that, and the other. I get it. We're all worried, but we fight. We fight. It ain't over till it's over. It ain't over until fucking, you know what I mean? But we're here to forge some fucking belief in ourselves and to fight back. Okay? You know what I'm saying? You got to fight back. Right? But yeah, I bounce those guys, though. I have no time for negative people, dude. Dude, same shit. Like when I quit gaming and I left gaming, I gave away all my income. I went from 2,000 viewers to 20 viewers. I started streaming politics. There were people that are like, you're never going to make it. You're not going to get good at this. You can't do this. I jettisoned all of them. And look at where we are now, guys, right? If I had held all those negative, like, you can't do it voices close to me, I would have failed, okay? You can't fucking succeed when you have a bunch of whiny, negative, you can't do it voices around. You need to purge that shit. Dude, get rid of those voices. They infect you like a cancer. No time for that shit. We're here to fight, okay? We're here to fight. We're here to win. Let's go. Dude, yeah, dude, Trump is a clown, dude. Dude, he is. He's just a scaredy cat. Dude, let's go. Appreciate you guys. Would still hate to be around whiny men in the apocalypse. I know, dude. They'll be like, the zombies are too fast. Oh, the zombies creep me out. They make me scared. It's like, fuck you, buck up, dude. Grab a shovel, start cracking skulls. Quit crying about the goddamn zombies and fucking, make some shit happen, dude. Seriously, dude. You need real men, bro. Real men aren't like, oh, it's over. No, it's like, fuck you, dude. I'm fighting till my last breath, dude. Right? Let's go. I didn't come out here to fucking lose, boss. All right, let's see what we got. So there's a lawsuit giving us a look at, they have a loyalty test at the FBI. Oh my God. Yeah, dude, Miss Felony, you got it. You were built for this. Dude, you know what my favorite quote is? Is Joan of Arc, dude. You ready? It's this one right here, dude. Joan of Arc. I am not afraid. I was born to do this. You know that quote? If you don't know that quote, that's the fucking quote right there, dude. I live by this shit, okay? I am not afraid, right? I was born to do this, right? That's how I look at this shit, at these fights, and you know what I'm saying? Dude, it's a good quote, man, where you just fucking don't worry about, like, I'm not afraid. I was born to take this fight, right? Let's fucking go, all right? Dude, I love Joan of Arc. All right, granted, she met a grisly end, but, whatever. Sometimes you fight the state, you end up the grisly end. Nobody said it was going to be pretty, right? But I ain't afraid of a grisly end. But look at this. So they have a fucking loyalty test. Okay, let's go, Phoenix. Appreciate you. They have a loyalty test in the FBI, guys. What in the actual fuck is going on? That, like, again, this is why, okay? This is why, good for you, boss. This is why they will fail, okay? Because they have not staffed their cabinet, their offices, their military leadership. They're not staffing these people with qualified, effective workers and fighters and warriors, right? They staff them with people who are loyal, okay? And now, I don't know if you guys have had a lot of experience with this, but if you go and you look at management in restaurants or in offices, there are some people who do the loyalty management where their management is all about loyalty, but those fucking managers and their staff are never good, okay? When people do loyalty staffing, they're incompetent. They're just ass-kissy. The leader usually has a very inaccurate view of even the landscape because everybody's busy like yes-menning him and winning favor. So nobody in those types of administrations or regimes or like management in offices, they never are effective, okay? Because effective leadership involves having a bunch of skilled players that usually have a big egos and a lot of conflicts, but then the leader is the guy who integrates those egos. And he's the guy who coordinates all those big egos with doing a great job and being able to have them work together. Trump can't do that. Okay, Trump, first off, everybody's got to subjugate themselves to him, and he's terribly unqualified. So from the very get-go, he's usually grabbing people that are not very intellectually advanced because he has to be able to like be above them. Okay. And then he exclusively staffs based on loyalty. So his administrations are just really inept. Okay. They talk a big game. They go on Fox and talk about all this shit, but then they can't execute it. Okay. They can't. They're like a football team filled with players that can't properly execute the blocks. And so he's always going to be fucked when he tries to do something. But here we go. Now they've got a loyalty test for the FBI.
I think this is the first time we've actually had the entire text of the loyalty test. I want to read this from your reporting and from the lawsuit. These were the questions asked of Officer, well, I guess Acting Director Brian Driscoll. Question 3, who did you vote for? Response 3. Driscoll refused to answer this question and stated that it was an inappropriate question with Hatch Act implications.
So there's a lawsuit. There's a lawsuit that is leaking this thing. So one of the questions for people wanting to work at the FBI is, who did you vote for? All right.
Question 4. Do you agree that the FBI agents who stormed Mar-a-Lago, to include the rank and file, should be held accountable? Response 4. No. FBI personnel were doing their job in furtherance of court orders, legal warrants, and a properly predicated investigation.
Oh my God. Dude, that's insane. So another question is, do you believe the agents who stormed Mar-a-Lago should be punished? Oh shit, dude. This is who they're getting into the FBI, right? I'm waiting for the question. Do you believe Donald Trump should be allowed to break the law with impunity? Will you let Donald Trump stick his 2-inch mushroom tip inside your wife? Can Donald Trump take your 14-year-old daughter into the garage for 2 hours while we fucking beat you senseless with a wet fucking pasta noodle? With a wet linguine noodle. Oh, Jesus.
Question 5. What are your thoughts on diversity, equity, and inclusion? Response.
Dude, what are your thoughts on diversity, equity, and inclusion? Like, they're asking what your thoughts are on DEI to work at the FBI. That is crazy. And yeah, stormed is an interesting adjective, too. The language they used, stormed Mar-a-Lago. It's like, dude, they just executed a search warrant. And they wouldn't have even needed to do it if Donald Trump wouldn't have continued moving those documents around and being like a fucking dumbass. Okay.
Response 5. Driscoll mentions that members of his own family were first-generation citizens and that he strongly believes in diversity and a diverse workforce that represents the people the FBI serves. He noted that he does not believe in promoting people for the sole reason of diversity and did not support diluting standards for the sake of diversity alone. Question 6. When did you start supporting President Trump? Response 6. Driscoll refuses to answer this question.
Jesus.
Question 7. Have you voted for a Democrat in the last 5 elections?
Dude, have you voted for a Democrat in the last 5 elections? Dude, what the fuck, bro? That's like a minimum of 10 years, right? That's a minimum of 10 years. That's basically saying, have you voted for a Democrat since Trump, is what it is. That's why they did 5 elections, right? Every 2 years, right? So basically, when did you start supporting for Trump, and did you vote for a Democrat since Trump entered the political landscape? Wow, dude. That's insane. This is the test, okay, to join the FBI, guys. Isn't that funny? Yeah, nobody who, you don't even have to be a Democrat. You could be an independent who voted for a Dem, right? Yeah, this is a loyalty test. That's exactly what this is. The whole thing is a loyalty test.
Response 7, Driscoll refused to answer this question. After the final question, the loyalty test interview ends. I don't know that I've, I don't know, what is it, 10 years of covering the Trump story, I don't know that that's ever been revealed as the actual ambition of a loyalty test atop the FBI. It's stunning to read.
I agree. And it was surprising to learn that Driscoll, the acting director, was asked for his voting history because the whole point, Nicole, as you know, and as now many of your viewers and our viewers know, the whole structure of the FBI and the directorship, a director is supposed to serve for 10 years.
Yeah, the whole point of the DOJ and the FBI is separation, independence. Okay, so the DOJ and the FBI are supposed to be filled with Democrats, Republicans, and independents, and you know what I'm saying? Of people of all stripes and colors and ethnicities and political leanings, and the entire DOJ is supposed to operate independently. Like the president never talks to anybody from the DOJ, right? They appoint people and then they go away. And the DOJ operates on its own. It's supposed to be its own entity. But here, Donald Trump is giving a loyalty test to these people. Donald Trump is actively involved in like leaving positions of power open. So there's not an effective leadership change inside, right? There's no leadership chain in these departments, right? Because a lot of like high level positions, they never even fill. They literally just leave a vacancy. So they can't possibly run effectively, but whatever they're doing is a direct pipeline to Donald Trump, right? And that's the whole thing is he just, for him, the DOJ is a complete tool of his own personal like desires.
It was structured precisely to keep this premier law enforcement agency and its sort of amazing powers apolitical.
Yeah, dude, that shit is crazy. All right, last thing, guys. We're going to take a few minutes here and we're going to watch a little bit of a video about Jimmy Kimmel and TYT. Okay, talking TYT covering Jimmy Kimmel. All right. It's all in Project 2025. Yeah, no, it's going to get dark. But again, guys, I think this is one of the things where I say for you guys, okay, is where you can take hope and remain hopeful is that we know what they're doing. We know they're rat fucking democracy. We know that they're trying to install this Project 2025. They're losing a lot in court. For the most part, they're obeying most of the court decisions. They haven't done any like point of no return red flag shit. Okay. I haven't seen any of that, like things of like, we're at war, right? You know what I'm saying? Like there are certain things where you would realize like we're at war, right? Like if they took an armed takeover of a city where they send the military in and they actually handcuff the mayor and arrest all the top fucking people in a city and install their own fucking mayor of the city, like that would be okay, we're in war now. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. Okay. They haven't done anything like that. But part of the reason why I maintain a pretty level playing field here is just knowing how incompetent these guys are. Okay. You'll see normally when they get wins, the wins are people obeying in advance. Okay. That's what it is. The wins come from people obeying in advance, right? J.B. Pritzker didn't obey in advance. And guess what? The National Guard's not going into Chicago. Okay. Because they're not as tough as they lead you to believe they are. They're not. They're not fucking skilled. They're not fucking tough. They're not fucking good at what they do. Okay. And they continually just make a disaster of everything they touch because they're so unfucking qualified. Okay. And that's literally the thing that's going to save us is the fact that when push comes to shove, these guys are just a bunch of mediocre men, dude. They're a bunch of mediocre white guys. Okay. And that's going to save us in the end. But they are doing a bunch of damage. So there's going to be a huge fucking cleanup. But here we go.
Is the easy way or the hard way? These companies can find ways to change conduct, to take action, frankly, on Kimmel, or, you know, there's going to be additional work for the FCC ahead. There's calls for Kimmel to be fired. I think, you know, you could certainly see a path forward for suspension over this. And again, you know, the FCC is going to have remedies that we could look at. And again, you know, we may ultimately be called to be a judge on that.
You just heard from FCC Chairman Brandon Carr suggesting to Benny Johnson that the Trump administration could take action against ABC, and that is in fact in response to comments made by Jimmy Kimmel.
Now, you notice on that Benny Johnson thing, what was very clear about that is that Brendan Carr was very clear of like, you know, we want the local stations to do this work, or the FCC has to do it, and then sure, Nexstar, which wants that $6 billion merger, needs FCC approval. They stepped up and said, oh, we got a problem with Jimmy Kimmel. They fired Kimmel. Now it's going to come down to Bob Iger, head of Disney. But you know what the problem is, guys? Is Disney has some shit in front of the Trump admin as well. Disney is trying to buy, what the fuck are they trying to buy? Dude, Disney's trying to buy something. Disney is trying to buy Fubo. That's what it is. Disney's trying to buy Fubo, which would then, like, they would own too many sports, like, networks. And so they're going to need FCC and Donald Trump admin approval to buy Fubo. So now Bob Iger is probably going to be like, okay, well, we'll sink Jimmy Kimmel because we need this Fubo deal. Right? Or maybe he stands up and says, screw the Fubo deal. I mean, we'll see. He's probably going to fold. I don't know what he's going to do. It's pretty complicated, but I'm hoping more Hollywood does what fucking Damon Lindelof did. Okay? Damon Lindelof is a writer of Lost and some other shit, right? He was one of the original creators of Lost, and he has vowed to not work with Disney. Okay? He is not working with Disney. And until they rectify this Kimmel thing. Now, I think SAG-AFTRA, there's a lot of big names in Hollywood that could boycott Disney, and it would be big, right? And Lindelof is the first, okay? He's the first guy doing it. Right? Dude, am I spelling his name right? Damon Lindelof. I spelled it wrong. All right. Lindelof. There we go. I spelled it wrong. Okay, but there he is. So yes, he said, I first heard Jimmy Kimmel on Kevin and Bean shortly after I moved to LA. That's a radio show. I was a fan of his goofy, honest wit. Never imagined one day we would be friends. I met him for the first time backstage, ABC Upfronts 2004. He had just seen The Lost Pile and dug it. And in the 20 years since, gotten to know Jimmy and his incredible wife and head writer, Molly. You know he's caring, empathetic, and grateful. You know he loves his country. You know he appreciates a good roast and can take as good as he gives. You know he supported his crew through multiple strikes. He is generous and philanthropic, and most of all, you know he is kind. I was shocked, sad, and infuriated by yesterday's suspension. Look forward to it being lifted soon. If it isn't, I can't in good conscience work for the company that imposed it. If you're about to fire up in my comments, just ask yourself if you know the difference between hate speech and a joke. I think you still do. And Jimmy, you've always known what you were doing. Love you and support you. So he says he's out. Dude, we have many, many more people that could do this. You know what I'm saying? Absolutely. But dude, yeah, he bounced. And there's a lot of power, okay? There's a lot of power in Hollywood. Okay, there is a lot of fucking power in Hollywood that I hope they flex. I hope they don't act like, oh, you know, this crushing of the First Amendment is really horrid. Let me go back to business, right? You know what I mean? Dude, we can fight back against this. But all right, let's see what Anna says.
And it turns out that Nexstar, Jimmy Kimmel's employer, has chosen to throw their employee under the bus ahead of a potential merger that they're hoping to get approved, by the way. So there's a lot to this story. Kimmel has now been suspended indefinitely over comments that he had made in regard to Tyler Robinson.
Wasn't even big comments. He said MAGA's trying to prove that this guy's not them. And then he made fun of Trump for talking about the ballroom and being in the fourth stage of, of grieving construction. Dude, some solid jokes, dude. Oh, shit.
The alleged Charlie Kirk assassin. Now, here's what Kimmel had said, which led to so much ire being directed toward him. He said, "We hit some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid who murdered Charlie Kirk as anything other than one of them and doing everything they can to score political points from it." Now, obviously,
truth. Dude, there's nothing in there that's not true.
Obviously, Kimmel's statements were inaccurate. There was no indication that Tyler Robinson was a Trump supporter or
Dude, what an idiot. He didn't say he was a Trump supporter, Anna, you fucking fuckwit. He said, "We had some new lows over the weekend with the MAGA gang desperately trying to characterize this kid as anything other than one of them." Okay? So he didn't say this kid was one of them. He said that MAGA was desperately trying to characterize him as anything but them. Okay? And in fact, though, he was raised by MAGA. So I don't care if he was black-pilled or got radicalized by Groyper memes. He started off in the very family that Charlie Kirk said is the best way you should get raised. With guns and God and MAGA and Republicans in fucking Utah, in the reddest, whitest fucking state in the whole country. And guess what? He became a fucking black-pilled killer. Okay? Jimmy Kimmel did not fucking say this was a MAGA shooter. He didn't fucking say that. And at the end of the day, though, he could have, because the kid was raised MAGA. He is of MAGA. He's definitely not a fucking leftist. He's got a little bit of Groyper in him, but mostly he's just a black pill nihilist who didn't have any fucking political, like strong political leanings anywhere. But he grew up in a MAGA religious gun-toting family where he couldn't express his own bisexuality or talk about his sexual interests. He couldn't breathe and be a person who wasn't MAGA, whatever he was. You know what I'm saying? He was definitely repressed by his family. And Anna, shame on you for mischaracterizing that shit. You call yourself a journalist? You call yourself a fucking representative of the news when you're fucking not even explaining what's going on here? And you're like, man, you are running water for the fascists now, for the fucking child rapists, right? The grapist Trump, 𝗙𝗍𝗄𝗏, rapist protector. What the fuck happened to you, Anna? You and Brian Kilmeade gonna go out and off some homeless people together? And then go on Glenn Beck and fucking, be like, oh, no MAGA! What the fuck happened to her, dude? Dude, it's like talking to Jack Posobiec on her take and fucking, like cheering on slavery with Jillian Michaels has melted your goddamn brain. You got too close to Lindy Lee and now you can't think. You have like a permanent, like long COVID of the fucking mental faculties. Dude, like what the fuck happened to her, bro? Jesus.
Points from it. Now, obviously, Kimmel's statements were inaccurate. There was no indication that Tyler Robinson was a Trump supporter or a MAGA Republican. And to be honest with you, there's been a lot of...
By the way, though, you ready? Hold on. Hold the phones. Let's look at the Bloomberg article today, though, guys. You ready? Bloomberg, Tyler Robinson. You ready? Look at this. You ready? This is going to be interesting, guys. Came out today. Sorry, Anna, I apologize because I'm about to shit on Anna right here. All right, publicly. We're doing it publicly. Okay, but like, I got to fucking try to break in on this. All right. Well, I'm not going to be able to get the thing, so we'll look at it. All right. We'll look at it on Twitter. Okay, because Bloomberg is they're monetizing that shit, and I'm not subscribing to Bloomberg. I subscribe to like 10 news things, but something that came out today, okay, is Tyler Robinson used Donald Trump as his gaming alias on Steam. Okay, the Secret Service is fucking looking at his gaming history. They're going through his Steam accounts, and what did they discover today or in the last couple days? That Tyler Robinson had been using Trump's name, Donald Trump, on Valve's Steam platform, okay? And so now, look at this. I want to be very clear here, guys, and let you know that, again, Tyler Robinson is like a black pill nihilist, okay? So he's going to be using like Trump on some shit. He's going to be doing Groyper memes. He's going to be doing like talking about the fascism. This kid is going to be all over the map because he's essentially trolling everyone. Okay. But the point being is this kid was not a fucking leftist. Okay. This kid is not a leftist. He's not out there fighting for healthcare. He's not out there fighting for education. He's not out there demanding equity. He was a MAGA-raised, religious, gun-toting, like austere Republican growing up kid in Utah who got blackpilled because he couldn't be himself in his own family. Okay, their severe family made it so he couldn't be himself. He got filled with rage at some points. He got blackpilled and just kind of was against everybody. But his foundation was MAGA, and he was using Donald Trump's name in fucking Steam. He did not hate Donald Trump, right? But he certainly wasn't a fucking leftist, okay? He just wasn't a leftist. And they've been portraying him as a leftist because the mayor of Utah said he's a leftist, but nobody's shown any evidence. But again, Anna's out here trying to break Jimmy Kimmel's balls. And what we're discovering is this kid who grew up MAGA was using Donald Trump as his fucking Steam name. So this kid wasn't anti-MAGA, okay? You know what I mean? And we need to remember that. And Jimmy Kimmel was not fucking off base, okay? And Anna is a clown show.
Responsible, jumping ahead of the gun and kind of characterizing this guy in order to, make the other political side look bad. But the one thing that has become pretty clear to me through what we've learned through this investigation so far is that he hated Charlie Kirk. He felt that Charlie Kirk was spreading hate and And
again, that doesn't make him a leftist. There are fucking Republicans that know Charlie Kirk spreads hate. Okay, you don't have to be a leftist to look at Charlie Kirk and realize that he spread hate. Pretty goddamn obvious that Charlie Kirk spread hate and misogyny and racism and xenophobia and transphobia and fucking nasty Islamophobia. And he used violent rhetoric and he couched it all inside being a good old Bible banging, like, oh, Charlie the Bible lover. Oh, I love my wife. It's like, fuck you, you fucking degenerate. Dude, you know what I mean? But come on, man.
Robinson allegedly has a transgender partner and was particularly...
And again, you ready for this, guys? I'm going to say this right now and hear me roar. If you secretly have a transgender lover, you are a right-winger of some sort, okay? If you are a left-winger, you're dating your transgender partner out in the open. Okay, the conservative men are the ones who are dating on the sly. And believe me, plenty right-wingers date transgender people. Go talk to a trans woman who's been a sex worker. She'll tell you almost all of her clients are fucking conservative white men, right? But if you are dating a trans person in silent, you are on the right somewhere, okay? 100%. You know what I'm saying? And I know we don't even know if Lance Twiggs is transgender. There's a lot of assumptions being made here. But I'm saying in general, dating a transgender person in secret would be a conservative person. Yes, ask Miss Felony. Miss Felony knows. Okay? We all know. Dude, we know how many closeted fucking weirdos are in the fucking Republican Party. It's like, it's practically their foundational piece, man.
Upset with Charlie Kirk over his anti-trans comments. So what Jimmy Kimmel said was inaccurate. There's no question about it. But it wasn't until...
Hold on. I do have to fucking show them up, though. Here we go. Let's go. Oh, dude, you like that? Dude, Anna is so recklessly bad at doing the news. Dude, she needs to go knit jumpers. I think that would be a great job for her, dude. Anna, what do you do for a living? Hi, I'm 𝗙𝗫𝗃𝗏. I knit jumpers for all my MAGA friends, right?
Till Brendan Carr came out, said what he said during that interview with Benny Johnson, that Nexstar decided, yeah, let's suspend Kimmel indefinitely. So let me read you the statement. They say that Mr. Kimmel's comments about the death of Mr. Kirk are offensive and insensitive at a critical time in our national political discourse, and we do not believe they reflect the spectrum of opinions, views, or values of the local communities in which we are located. So that was a statement from the president of Nexstar's broadcasting division, Andrew Alford. And so he says, continuing to give Mr. Kimmel a broadcast platform in the public interest at this current time. Continue to give Mr. Kimmel a broadcast platform in the communities we serve is simply not in the public interest at the current time. And we have made this difficult decision to preempt his show in an effort to let cooler heads prevail as we move forward or move toward the resumption of respectful, constructive dialogue.
Dude, this is all bullshit though, because come on. Dude, Brian Kilmeade said he was going to kill all the homeless. Kill them. Euthanize. Like, we could just euthanize them, right? Lethal injection. Kill them. Nobody had a problem with that. This is all bullshit, respectable dialogue. Dude, you don't have to kiss Charlie Kirk's fucking ass, bro. He was a racist, misogynist puke, dude. Come on.
So Nexstar currently operates mostly in smaller, mid-sized markets, though they include the ABC stations in New Orleans and also Salt Lake City. And I should note the decision also comes as Nexstar, comes as the broadcast station is seeking FCC approval for its $6.2 billion mega deal to acquire Tegna, a deal that would make Nexstar by far the largest owner of local TV.
Yeah, it's important though that the Brendan Carr has to change the rules for them to do that
stations
deal
in the country. Those mergers be calling, Cenk.
Yeah, she's leaving out something though. This irresponsible journalist is leaving out the fact that there is a cap. Okay, there is a cap on media companies that say you can't own enough TV stations to cover more than 39% of American households. No matter how many TV stations you can buy as many TV stations as you want, but you can't own more than 35% of the access to American households. And in order for Nexstar to buy Tegna, they have to break that cap, which means Brendan Carr, the leader of the FCC, has to relax that cap and change the rules for them to fucking do that merger. And that's why they are bowing down and kissing the ring, right? And that's why he said it, because he knew they would kiss the ring. He knew. That's why he put it out there with Benny Johnson. He probably sent a link to that podcast to the executives at Nexstar and said, go ahead and watch the Benny Johnson show, guys. It's going to be real good. And they're like, oh, fuck, we better go complain about Jimmy Kimmel. They're like, oh, shit. And one guy was probably that Benny Johnson guy's pretty sexy. Can I go to TPUSA and fucking hang out with him in a motel room while his wife cries her eyes out in the bar? Dude, yeah, she blocked me today, dude. Benny Johnson's beard blocked me, but that's another story. Story for another time.
So, but like, I'm curious when you think about Kimmel's statements, because I do think Kimmel is feeding into, not only were his statements inaccurate, it feeds into this like partisan brain rot that's fueling a lot of unrest in this country. What do you think?
So on what Jimmy...
Oh, you know what's really interesting? Did you say how the partisan brain rot is fueling the unrest in the country? And it's like, no, Anna, you need to get this shit straight, Anna. Donald Trump is fueling the unrest in this country. Okay, and people who make excuses for him like you do, people who hold Jimmy Kimmel responsible for the brain rot instead of Donald Trump. Donald Trump brought this rhetoric even when Obama was president. And in fact, Anna, you and Cenk kind of did a little bit of this shit when Obama was president. You were part of that beginning too, okay? Of like, you've had some racism issues, you fuckers at TYT, right? But don't tell me that the rhetoric and the violence and the communist, fascist, socialist, Marxist bullshit that Trump uses to demonize everybody but the MAGA white Christians, like, what the fuck, man? You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? Like, dude, they are absolutely... like her acting like Jimmy Kimmel's the one creating the brain rot. She is vile. You know what I mean? Because she is purposely misrepresenting. And she is fucking like sane washing. More sane washing for Trump, you
Kimmel
know?
said. So was it wrong? Yes. So what do I think is allowed and
wasn't
not allowed? It's not even allowed. It's just...
Dude, first off, you ready for this? Jimmy Kimmel could have gone out there and said, this guy is a Trump supporter. That's not illegal to fucking lie. If it was illegal to lie, Donald Trump would be in fucking prison, bro. Like, you don't have to tell the truth as a late night host. You can say whatever the fuck you want. You can like guess, rumor, speculation. Like, give me a fucking break, bro. Donald Trump lies every time he opens his goddamn mouth. So does Caroline Levitt. So does fucking Stephen Miller. Like now, telling the truth is required. Well, all right, Trump, get the cuffs out. Like, come on, bro. Give me a fucking break, dude.
Should you do and not do in a situation like that? Now, we're sitting there for 3-4 days with no information on who the...
But see, again, though, the real problem with this, guys, is this has nothing to do with Charlie Kirk. Okay, because he didn't say anything bad, and he could have speculated whatever he wants. He could speculate that Charlie Kirk was a Hare Krishna. Doesn't fucking matter. But the real problem of this is a scammy, scandalous attempt to fucking leverage the power of the government. Trump wanted Kimmel gone. Brendan Carr saw a way to get Kimmel gone by saying, oh, Nexstar, you got to have a problem with Kimmel. And then ABC can be like, all right, we're suspending Kimmel because we don't want to lose the local affiliates. And then it looks like it has all taken place because of Kimmel when the whole thing is a lie. Like, the whole fucking thing is a lie. And these fucking clowns at TYT are acting like they have their heads up their ass, letting the fascists lie, probably because how much fascist money are these idiots taking? How much Polymarket and fucking what's the other Medicare place now that they're taking money from? JD Vance's company. Like, Anna and Cenk are so paid by the right wing that they're lying. They're lying for Trump too. Fucking disasters.
Shooter is, what their motive was, etc. If you say no speculation is allowed, what, everybody's just gonna sit around silent for 4 days? We will wait for the official government position. We are not at all curious. We will not talk about it. No, that's an unreasonable standard. Nobody's going to do that. And by the way, if you're in the right wing, you really want to get canceled over speculation after?
Dude, what was the right wing doing while Jimmy Kimmel was doing that? Dude, they were doxing trans people and declaring trans violence. Now they're trying to declare trans people, like, if a trans person commits a crime, they're in a special federal database. Like, give me a fucking break, man. You know what I'm saying? Dude.
After a shooting or any other major event, the right wing in my lifetime has done massive speculation about who it could be, etc. I'm not saying the left wing doesn't.
That's what it is, chapter ad.
Right, I'm just saying.
Dude, see, the thing about this is it's not even leftist, right? It's like some people hated Charlie Kirk and they celebrated his death. So what? When Donald Trump dies, I'm gonna celebrate that motherfucker's death. And I'm allowed to do it. And it's not in poor taste, because fuck Donald Trump, dude. He's so toxic. He's hurt so many people. The day he dies, I'm gonna dance like there's nobody watching, bro. And you're not gonna be able to shame me for it, because I'll be like, fuck you, I have a right. Okay, we don't have to pretend horrible people are fucking like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, I didn't cheer for it, but if somebody wanted to cheer for it, like, let them cheer. It's not a fucking moral failing. Like, if you had a trans daughter or a trans son, you might cheer for Charlie Kirk. If you watched half your trans friends commit suicide because of the negativity that bastard spread, you might be cheering, and you have a right to. Okay? So this idea that you get to police how people react to death, fuck you. That's bullshit. You don't own people. People can do whatever they want. Is it in poor taste? Sure. But like, you're allowed to have poor taste. Dude, they cheered fucking Paul Pelosi. They made up fucking lies. They like broke out hammers. They fucking made up gay stories. They did all kinds of shit. They cheered Joe Biden's cancer diagnosis. They fucking cheered for George Floyd. Like, come on, man. They cheer all the time. Fuck these people like saying it's fucking bullshit. If you want to cheer it, cheer it. I don't fucking care. I'm not holding that against anyone. Like, goddamn, bro.
That it's a thing that happens. It's normal, it's human, etc. Now, at the same time, should you make, if you're on television, you're in media, should you make definitive statements before you know? No, of course not.
And nobody made definitive statements. But again, I'm going to go back and say that I think the reason why people are openly cheering about this shit is because of Donald Trump. Okay, before Donald Trump, you know what I mean? Like, Donald Trump is the first person I've been like, dude, I'm gonna dance when he dies. Donald Trump created the climate that has made me ready to dance and piss on his grave when he dies. Okay, before Trump, that wasn't even on my landscape. But he has come in with so much negativity in the process that part of the healing is going to be like taking a human shit on his grave. That's just the way it is, guys. Don't blame me, man. It is like a projection of the climate he has foisted over us all, where you can't go anywhere without his nastiness just fucking infecting us in every fucking, you know?
But, okay, so that's why if Jimmy Kimmel was not a comic and he was ABC's news anchor and he said, yes, that's right, Tyler Robinson was MAGA, you'd go, whoa, what are you doing? The authorities haven't even come out yet with anything. Why are you stating that definitively? So that would definitely be wrong. Now we move to, okay, so should they have taken him off the air? Well, brother, he's not a news anchor. He's a comic. It was the setup to a joke. It was inaccurate.
Dude, they keep saying it was inaccurate. It's not inaccurate, okay? Tyler Robinson is MAGA. He is. He was born MAGA. He was raised MAGA. He grew up MAGA. He may have been black-pilled and radicalized by something else, memes or groypers or whatever, right? But he's MAGA. He's a disaffected MAGA that was left vulnerable to radicalization because of his shitty MAGA upbringing. He was easy to radicalize into whatever black pill memeing fucking killer, the same way that all those guys that stormed the Capitol and fucking beat up those cops and shit, they were MAGA. And they got convinced to fucking destroy the Capitol over an election. That's what happens when you're MAGA. You're an easy mark for rage crimes. okay, or to be radicalized into something crazier. Starts with MAGA, starts with the religion. These guys are fucking clueless. We can watch more of this later. I'm going to go make some videos. All right, fuck it. Let's go, baby. Let's go. Dude, I love you guys. Dude, let's get dance party going, dude. Or get, not dance party, get ready for, sorry. Let's get ready for edit mode, dude. Edit mode. Let's go. You're on blue. Who knows you're on blue? When every bruise looks good on you. Tell me who knows you're on blue? When every bruise looks good on you. Dude, thank you guys. Once again, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for putting up with my fucking ferociousness and my, like, very strong feelings about religion and other things. I appreciate you guys. We're fighting a good fight. I'll see you tomorrow. Yo's, you're on blue. Good night. Love ya. When every bruise looks good on you. Tell me who knows you're on blue? When every bruise looks good on you. Good night, guys. Why won't you hold my hand? Are you gonna deny this? Do the best you can. I haven't got a plan, but I'm gonna survive this. That's just who I am. When you're on blue, you keep everything inside of you. You try to play it cool. Sometimes you gotta break the rules. I don't know why you are confused. All you need is a little bit of attitude. Yeah. This is it. I'm tired of explaining. It's too late because everyone is waiting. That's great. So why are you complaining? You're on blue. If I'm unsure, will anybody notice? It's my fault because I love you on purpose. I'm insecure or just a little nervous. You're on blue. Yeah. Starting to enjoy the view, I'm all about the attitude. Who knows you're on blue? When every bruise looks good on you. Tell me who knows you're on blue? When every bruise looks good on you.
situations again, because I might be tempted. I'm in love.